And number 4 is kicking off. Hello, everyone. We're brought to you by wine again. It's been a minute. Cheers. Cheers to a whopping 20 hours of content now.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's from good old Mendoza, Argentina. People that made this one were Tuscany immigrants. You know where that's at?
Italy.
Yep. Tuscany, Italy. Yeah.
To Argentina.
Yeah.
I would love to go there. I really want to go to Patagonia, the whole region.
Is that completely in Argentina, or is there?
No, I think it spans both Peru and Argentina.
Yeah, because so they have. Is that the place where they had the like? How do you explain it? The tabletop mountains, basically the mountains that it's not even a mountain; it just goes up and it's flat on the top.
Like a plateau.
Yeah.
Do they have those there? I'm sure they do. They have some very, very jagged mountains, like very rugged.
So that was the line in the sky?
Yeah.
Okay,
Line across the sky.
Mountains. You know what I'm talking about, though? Because he talked about those, Alex, on Joe Rogan, and it's these mountains that it looks like a table. It looks like a man-made feature. Yeah, because he commented, he's like, wow. Because he had a picture pulled up, and he's like, wow, if I just walked up on that and I was like a caveman, I would think someone built all that. Because it does look like essentially a giant table.
Right.
Yeah.
You're talking about plateaus, right?
Yeah, I guess that's the right term. But it is so like flat on the top.
Yeah.
It's like it looks like something in Minecraft. Like it's completely flat on top. It doesn't have hills up there. It's like if someone just like pushed down all the area around it and then left that there.
I don't know. I don't know if they have any down there. I'm not sure. I know we have them here in the States, out west.
Yeah. Out in Utah and stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Utah is pretty cool.
Yeah,
I want to go there.
I want to go there as well. I've flown through Salt Lake. I haven't actually been there.
Yeah, I want to go there for probably mainly astrophotography.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm glad you brought that up already. I looked into telescopes last night finally.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Celestron?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They got a couple that are like Wi-Fi enabled. It syncs up to your phone.
Oh, wow. Of course.
Yeah. No, well, it's cool because you
Everything's
get the app on your phone. You point it right at the sky. It tracks it and you can zoom around.
That was not a thing when I got mine.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It wasn't even that long ago. Yeah.
And surprisingly, it wasn't. They were like $600, which is not. I thought it'd be like way more for something like that.
What's like their lowest end one?
Oh, they have ones that go all the way down to like $60-$70.
Oh,
yeah. And then they have ones that go up to like I think the most expensive one I saw was like $9,000. They definitely go up in price.
Yeah. Was it orange? I think they have orange ones, right?
Yeah.
Like that anodized orange.
Yeah.
The one that I have is, I'm pretty sure it was around $200.
Okay.
And it's not Wi-Fi. It's definitely a dumb telescope. Like it doesn't have any.
It doesn't track or anything.
No kind of electronic interface anywhere.
Yeah. So the issue not really an issue, but I'm kind of wondering. I need to figure out. I need to really do a lot more research into it. It's definitely a hobby where you need to really get into it to know exactly what is good and bad. I'm wondering if I should just not get a telescope and just invest the money into like a super long telephoto lens for my camera, like a 600 something, 800 telephoto lens.
Yeah.
So I can do the astrophotography.
Wait, so that's like astrophotography as far as like taking
deep space, and nebulas.
I think you should get a telescope.
Yeah.
Telescopes are just way more funner.
More funner.
Yeah.
Well, because the thing is if you get the telephoto lens to do the astrophotography, you got to get a star tracker. You basically get the star tracker that goes on top of your tripod, and then you mount the camera to the tracker. Mm-hmm. So the tracker is following the stars, and the camera is pointing at them, obviously.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a way around. Oh, I guess that's the real way of doing astrophotography.
So
then you can get a telescope and just mount you can take photos of the.
Yeah. Are you wanting to do? Is that what you're trying to do? That kind of like telescope astrophotography?
I don't know about telescope. Well,
that would be kind of. You gotta have a very special rig for that.
You're talking about like The deep space stuff.
Yeah, like what you just said, taking a picture through the eyepiece of the telescope.
Oh, I don't know much about that.
Yeah, that's like, I don't know, because my favorite astrophotography is with the wide angle lenses.
Right.
Like
You see the landscape on the ground and everything.
The deep space stuff is
I like both.
I don't know, I feel like I could go outside with my 85 mil and get some deep space, decent pictures. I think it collects a lot of light.
I don't know enough about it to say. But the one video that the guy that I was watching, he had a 600 telephoto.
And he was just zooming into
It was like max zoom to like 600 millimeter, and he had it on the tripod with the tracker, and he was getting like the red, like hazy, like nebulas and whatever.
Did he
even? It's pretty cool.
Did he mention like not even walking around the telescope or not the telescope, the lens when it's on the tripod?
No,
that would be so touchy. Like you couldn't even walk around that. The vibrations would jack your shot up.
Yeah, I believe that.
Stands really still.
Yeah. Yeah, and you do that delayed button press, like 2 seconds, 3 seconds.
Yeah, but I think you should get the
actual telescope.
Yeah, because it's just fun looking.
Yeah,
at it.
I was gonna say that's a fun hobby in and of itself, let alone the photography. Yeah.
Yeah, and like. You're not going to get a lens on a camera. I mean, maybe you can. You're talking a lot. If you're going to spend that much money, you might as well get a super nice telescope because you're going to spend... If you get a lens that has enough zoom to it that you can see like what a telescope sees, that's like... I don't know what millimeter that is.
Well, this guy had the 600. I have no idea how much they go for, but... Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure a telescope can zoom in much further than that 600.
Right. Right. There's also like several different types of telescopes. There's like the Newton variant, and the I just fried. Did you hear that? And there's the
dirty thing.
There's like some Russian one. It's like the Sukhanov something once or another, something like that. I don't know.
A Newtonian telescope, is that what it's called?
Yeah, Newtonian, and there's like the Sukhanov. Something.
Does that have to do with the eyepiece is?
I think it's just a different design, but they do. Yeah, I think the Newtonian ones have it's like the traditional telescope. It has the eyepiece in the back, and then the Sukhanov ones. I'm probably saying that totally wrong, but the Russian one has the eyepiece it's on like the front. I think it's like on the front side of it.
That's how mine is. It's on the front side.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
It's a lot better. But I thought that was just all reflector telescopes.
Right. Yeah, and then you get into that the reflector, refractive, and
I don't think anybody's. You might get a refractor. You're talking like that's gonna be a lot of money. That's a really heavy telescope. All those lenses.
They're huge. Yeah. I don't know.
That's old school.
I'm on preliminary research so far.
Yeah.
I
definitely think you should probably get. I mean, Celestron's a pretty good brand too.
Yeah, they're well known as being pretty good, especially like their like middle of the pack models.
Yeah. You want to get into that?
Yeah.
All right,
let's do it.
So everybody knows about the Valley Girl voice. So
Valley Girl.
We deal with a Valley Girl voices somewhat often. Man, I'm doing it right. Now that I read about this, now I'm like...
Well, I told you when I texted you, I was like, yeah, every time you hear it, you're going to go crazy.
I feel gross.
Yeah.
So everybody knows about the Valley Girl voice, but we did a little bit of deeper research into this topic. Yeah, I did. There's two big components that make up the Valley Girl voice. The more commonly known pieces of speaking or up talking, which is, did you have a nice day? Well, it was really sunny outside, and I don't know if you like it, but that kind of shit. But we'll get to that, and then I want to talk more about vocal fry. Vocal frying is the other aspect of it, and it's just look up Kim Kardashian vocal fry. That's all you need to see. The video is called 1 minute of Kim Kardashian vocal fry.
Yeah, you don't actually want to do it.
It's just a super cut of yeah. So we're going to the coffee.
I went to the coffee shop.
Yeah.
And I got in my Range Rover.
sometimes they do it in all of their sentences, but sometimes they start out loud and then they slowly start vocal fry. So vocal frying is a legitimate, like, measurable thing.
Trend.
Trend and definitely a learned behavior.
Yes.
It 100%
Has
is.
to be.
And what it is essentially man, I just did it, man. God damn. I just gotta inhale more. You gotta fill the lungs.
Yeah.
So it's a phenomenon, particularly in women, and I think it's definitely centralized the West Coast and even more centralized in California. It's the Valley Girl voice. Comes from California.
Due to culture.
Yeah. And what it is you are essentially just not, you don't have enough oxygen in your lungs to speak. So what happens is when you start exhaling, projecting less because of your lack of oxygen in your lungs, your vocal cords are not vibrating correctly. My knowledge is starting to run out on that, the actual biology behind it, but your vocal cords are not vibrating in a way because you have like 3 or 4 tones of your voice.
I think it was 4.
Yeah.
I don't remember. They're weird names.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
And I think modal is one of them. That's like the second. That's like your speaking voice.
Yes.
And you got 2 levels higher. But there's one under that. And when you're vocal frying, you're speaking in that tone.
Right.
Which is, you should be speaking in that tone when you're you'll speak in that tone when you're anxious, when you're like scared, sad, not having a good day, or you're trying to like talk quiet. That's when you should talk like that. So when you're always talking like that, you're stuck in that. And what happens is you are perceived to be in one of those like classes. Like, why are you anxious? Like, why do you sound like that? Mm-hmm. The video that we watched, the lady said it sounds like anxiety.
Yes.
Like if anxiety had a sound,
That's
you
it.
talking like that
Right.
you're less likely to be
Taken seriously.
Yeah, taken seriously.
Looks like you lack confidence.
It's a lack of confidence. Like you can't have like a commanding presence. I guess if you're giving out commands and orders.
Compelling speech.
Yeah, you're not compelling.
Yeah.
You won't. You're not captivating. And it comes down to, it sounds like you don't believe what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. And
it is a real thing, and is tried to be twisted into more of a sexist thing now because predominantly women do it. There is men that do it, and God help them. But
I think everybody does it.
Yeah,
to an extent, more than likely. But not to the extent that women do it for sure.
Yeah. So particularly women do it, West Coast girls, and because particularly women do it at the workforce, they are being perceived by probably men to. So if you have like 100 girls in your workforce, and all of them
talk
are
like this all the time.
Yeah, up speaking, not even really up speaking, but just
the frying,
vocal frying.
Yeah.
And you don't want to listen to any of them because of that. It's not because of their voice, it's because you don't like women.
Well, that's what they're trying to say.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
That's the thing. So
now
now
let me backtrack real quick. I think with the oxygen, the way I think of it I feel like the oxygen is like a lubricant for your vocal cords. And when it's when your throat and your esophagus is lacking the oxygen, it makes them like it's not expanded enough.
Yes.
So it's like they're closer together and you get that. Yeah. So that's the way I thought of it. That was just
that could be it. So I think that's what it is. So it's like
when you're full of air.
Yeah.
They have enough space in between them. They sound normal. But when you're talking like this, now you sound like they're rattly because your throat is close together and I'm running out of oxygen.
Right. So what it is when you're speaking with a larger amount of oxygen, you're at a higher tone, they're vibrating, and I think it comes down to they're hitting each other.
Yes.
And when they think of if you let's see, what's my analogy? I'm gonna pull out my ass real quick. I don't know. You wouldn't want like just something binding, like any kind
guitar
of mechanical
strings.
thing. Yeah, guitar strings. That was the other analogy they used. If you
Oh, they
if
did?
You,
Wow,
yeah.
I thought I was being creative.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that was actually I think in that same video they talked about if you pulled all the slack out of a guitar string and just hit it, it's just gonna sound like shit.
Or if you just put two of them right next to each other
and they start
yeah,
colliding,
it'd be ridiculous.
And it has to do with you are not getting enough airflow to make them vibrate correctly.
Right.
And you'll have people who you could hear vocal fryers if that's like how they talk all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Just listen to like the front end of a sentence where they're excited, and that's their normal. That is their normal voice. Their like excited voice is how they should always be talking.
Yes.
Right. So vocal frying, look it up.
It's a real thing.
It's a real biological, studyable
phenomenon
thing that there's a lot of videos on. There's even linguists that speak about it.
Yes.
They talk about it.
Well, because it could be very detrimental to your voice. It can cause like permanent damage, as saying, and damage to your vocal cords, and it could harm your voice. So
it's funny you say that because the one video that I was watching, they said it was a dude too. He was, I don't know, being a simp or whatever you want to call it, but he was saying that basically I'm pretty sure what he was getting at is that's wrong for the dudes to be mean towards the girls.
Yeah.
Because they're doing that, and I'm pretty sure he ended the video saying that it wasn't bad for you, and the fry on. I'm pretty sure that's how. I might be just making that up.
No, I think he did say that.
D News, that dude.
What?
D News. That was the channel that I was.
Oh yes, you're right. Yeah, I think
it's
it's Discovery News.
Yeah.
But
I think it is Discovery.
No, it is definitely harmful for you. That was like the basis of the whole blog. I think that guy was kind of being like facetious. But it's also important to know that don't get it confused with like a raspy voice or like a smoker's voice kind of thing. It's totally different than that. Wow, that was a bad one. Did you hear that?
Yeah. It's because you're not pausing and taking an inhale.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
But the raspiness, like obviously most males have like a deeper, raspier voice, I would say. So it's kind of it would be easy to get confused with actually talking like this all the time.
Yeah, and it's kind of hard to avoid because unless singers probably never do that because they know about like, well, maybe I should take that back. Well, I don't know, maybe like a metal singer or like any other kind of like rock band singer.
Oh, I thought you said seniors.
Singers.
Gotcha.
Yes, singers.
Yeah.
Concert band singers. Because they know about like breath control and stuff, like maintaining a amount of air in them. So they probably don't really do it because they know what it means to constantly have like, okay, I feel like I'm running out of breath, so I'm going to cut my sentence in half, pause, refill, and then continue talking. But someone we work with, you probably know what I'm talking about. He always speaks like with a very large amount of air in his system, and you can like hear it in his voice. He'd probably never vocal fries because he can't yeah.
What's his first name?
Short guy, glasses.
Short guy, glasses.
Beer gut.
With a short guy, glasses with a beer gut.
Come on, man. I'll tell you offline, but yeah, prime example. That ringing a bell?
That's gonna bug me. No, who? Short guy, glasses with a beer gut.
Yeah.
That we work with.
Yes. Come on, shorter guy. Come on, man. Oh man.
You're gonna have to figure out a way to tell me. What's his first name?
I don't know. His last name starts with an H. Bro. All right.
With an H.
Let's just move on.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll think of
H-A.
H-A.
Okay. No, we didn't watch that video before we watched this one, so we could talk about that topic.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Yeah, there you go. You know what I'm talking about though? Like he.
Oh yeah.
He speaks with like a lot of.
Right. He's a barrel-chested motherfucker. Yeah.
Yeah. But one thing
his diaphragm's always full of air for sure.
There's another phenomenon.
I was thinking of a peer, man.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I don't work with him.
Yeah. Yeah, true. But Some people, they'll start running out of air at the end of their sentence, but they won't start like vocal frying. They'll just, I can't even rep. It definitely has a name. They'll talking. Yeah, I'm through with this shit. One of those. It's hard to impersonate.
Just
but they're running out of air.
trail off, I guess.
Yeah, they're trying to get that last few words out. Yeah,
And then
I was walking my dog and he took a shit. I was through that shit. Or something like that. But they don't like vocal fry. They're just running out of air and they're trying to squeeze out those last few words.
yeah. Let's segue to Darth Vader.
Oh,
That's
geez.
a perfect
Yeah.
point.
Chris Mellon, right? Christopher Mellon, that was his name.
Yes.
Yeah. We could talk about ultra terrestrials as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just vocal fried, but so he was on. If you guys haven't seen him, he's a
Intelligence Committee.
yeah. He was in the. I don't know what his position was again.
Me neither.
Yeah. He was a dude deep in the intel community with the government, and
On the policy side.
yeah, and he's a UFO dude too. So
Yeah.
when you get
He was a closet UFO guy
Yeah.
for a long time. Yeah.
yeah, it's probably like you said, it's hard to
Stigma. Big
yeah,
stigma.
Like you gotta watch out because he was talking about Gerald Mattis. Well,
Yeah, they wouldn't even give him the brief.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd get labeled as a fucking lunatic.
yeah. So before that, so one just funny thing, not even related, just him. He was doing the show, and I didn't even have my headphones on. I was watching.
I heard it in my car
Yeah, and
with my window open.
Let's see. I'm gonna see if I can even impersonate.
I've been doing it
he
for the
breathes?
past 20 seconds.
No, you're breathing with your mouth. I think he's doing it like through his nose, and it's like you're hearing his voice, or not his throat. Yeah, yeah. So the whole time he gets 20 minutes in, right, and they're talking, and every time he doesn't do it while he's talking, he does it
No.
when Joe Rogan is talking.
Yes.
you can just hear. It's not quite a snore. It's just it's
you
that,
don't get the rumble. You don't hear like
yeah.
the,
It's man, I can't even
No,
do
you-
it.
You're doing it. That's right.
I think there's less rumble to it.
The less rumble. It's a smooth breathing.
Yeah.
It sounds like a if you had like a regulator. If you know about scuba diving, you had like a regulator in your mouth and you're breathing out air. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. So they get 20 minutes in, and at this point, I'm like, what is that noise? That's it. Well, I knew it was him breathing, but I was like,
Jamie, can you?
yeah.
Is that your is that your voice? Or is that your breathing?
It was so funny. Yeah.
The
And then-
squinty eyes.
And then, yeah, it finally gets 25 minutes in, and then he tells Jamie to pull something up, and there's like a pause and silence, and they have their headphones wired into each other.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess.
So they're
You can
hearing
hear
each other.
Yeah.
It's not like this where we can only hear each other through our ears.
Actual,
Yeah. Actual voice. That's something else I can talk about. But yeah, he's just like, hey, Jamie, can you pull? Is that your breathing? It's just the way. And then he goes, it is. It is your breathing.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with you. I was
Yeah.
just trying to figure out what that noise was. And he was like, I've had my COVID vaccine, so it's not that. But yeah, that just cracked me up. People in the comments on YouTube, because that's where everybody goes now to post their comments.
Yeah.
And they're two video. There's actually a Reddit, like r/Joe Rogan, and that's where they go to post all their
Comments.
comments.
I've been so obviously I'm a podcast fiend, and I've been waiting for Spotify. Like, I don't know, maybe I can get hired at Spotify and put in this pretty simple feature. I would love to comment on my podcast on Spotify. Like, how hard is that?
Yeah.
I like to rate them and review them too, like you can do on iTunes.
He brought that up though, Joe Rogan. He brought up so one thing I did. I don't think anybody else on YouTube or Spotify has a video.
No.
Yeah, so they updated that app for him alone.
Yeah.
but it's a pretty big deal. So I see why they would do that. But
It is a big deal.
he brought up the comment thing before because this guy like came on and he said the exact thing that everybody's been complaining about. Like, I like to watch Spotify on my TV, in which, I like to watch podcasts on my TV, which YouTube you could obviously do on a smart TV. Spotify, you can only listen to music. There's no video feature on a smart TV.
Right.
And he told them, he was like, he brought up that. It was like if he had just any regular Joe viewer on the show. I don't know who. I think it was a comedian, but he was like, yeah, they're working on that and the comment section. But the thing he said about the comment section is that Spotify, I'm pretty sure he said Spotify would feel like they would have to do it for every podcast then.
Right. Yeah.
Bring out a
hard is
comment section. I mean, they did the video thing only for him, but that's...
Well, Spotify is trying to capitalize on the whole podcast market because right after they signed the big deal with Rogan, they acquired technology and advertising technology to monetize podcasts, which if you've noticed sometimes, Joe Rogan, he does the quick clips in the beginning of his podcast, so like a minute
annoying.
long. But other podcasts, sometimes when you go to play it, you'll get a random ad before it allows you to play the real podcast, and that's something that's new. Like I've been using Spotify to listen to podcasts for several years now, and that you would never get any ads. And I even canceled my Spotify Premium subscription because it does nothing for. You don't need to pay anything for podcasts.
Yeah.
You can download them to your phone, whether you're a premium member or not, and there was no ads.
For podcasts, though? Not music?
Not music.
Okay.
But you can download a podcast.
Wow.
Because it goes back to the hosting thing, like we were talking about, hosting the audio. It's not costing Spotify any money because Spotify hosts all the music, I'm pretty sure. That's why you have to pay to download it. Where a podcast, it's hosted at some random podcast website, and they just link you to it through their app. So you can download that, no problem.
I'm surprised they would let you download that, not being premium. I figured they would keep something locked away where it's like...
They should.
They got you.
I just let the cat out of the bag.
Yeah. Nah, they know about it.
Yeah.
But that's crazy. You don't listen to any music to the point where you don't want to download it?
No.
Man.
To the point I want to download
podcasts.
Oh, I love them, yeah.
Yeah.
All
Not
the time.
music, though? You don't like music?
I like
that in that way? Where you'd want to I want to listen to the song and then boom, without streaming it? No?
Oh, without stream? Why? I mean, you always have service for the most part, right?
You're on a flight. You want you're listening to your podcast.
Yeah, I will download several hours of podcasts for flight and audiobooks, mostly podcasts though. I will say that I have so many audiobooks that I have not fully listened to because I have too many podcasts that I listen to all the time. So, yeah, I don't know. But no, which is funny, it's really ironic because I hated high school. I hated school in general for the most part. I hated anything about learning, really. But now I love it. Podcast, I learn all day long. I'm always learning something. Yeah. It's great.
Yeah,
I'm addicted to learning. And I love it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, well, I like to learn. I guess I'm addicted to learning. Yeah, everybody should be. But, yeah, I always said I've learned more in the past because I didn't start listening to podcasts. I was probably later in the game till 2018. 2018 is when I first started listening to podcasts big.
Me too.
Big time. Oh, okay. But
maybe 2017, but 2018 for sure.
Yeah, since then I've learned way more
unfathomable
than high school. Right?
Oh my god, yeah.
School. I guess school teaches you its own set of things, but like podcasts you learn way more real life. You just get more perspective. Is it nuanced? Is that
nuanced? Yeah,
right thing. I don't even know what that means. It sounds like the right
nuanced. Word. Nuanced means there's different ways of viewing the same thing.
Oh yeah,
different meanings of the same thing.
More open-minded nuanced. Too. No,
open-minded. Yeah. And there's a podcast for everything. I listen to so many. Every hobby I have, I listen to podcasts about it. I listen to podcasts about camping. I listen to podcasts about rock climbing. I listen to podcasts about photography and travel and the news and guns and gear and anything, man.
Yeah, you're more into
stuff, oceanography stuff.
I have no branch out, I guess you could say. I listen to
not diversified.
Yeah, I'm not very diverse, but I don't know. Joe Rogan brings enough If he was just doing a podcast of him and Jamie every single time,
nobody would listen to that.
Yeah. Now we're shitting on our own podcast. We inadvertently just Hey, we got a new subscriber the other day.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So we have
23?
23 loyal fans. You know how many views? We have the most loyal fans. You know how many views our last one got?
22.
Yep. Isn't that so good? That's some loyal fans right
They're
there.
just bots.
Yeah.
Hate to break
Yeah,
it to you.
sorry. That
Yeah,
sucks.
just kidding. I'm sure somebody's out there watching.
Yeah, I mean,
But
that's nice.
would you say something about diversified?
Yeah, but Joe Rogan
Uh,
brings out enough diverse
right.
people that he's a one-stop shop for all
Yeah.
different kinds of
Yeah, if you
things.
pair him and Lex, you can get a huge
Yeah.
variety of very intellectual conversation. Actually, Joe Rogan was my #1 listened to podcast last year. Because you know Spotify
Yeah.
shows you like your little stats. Yeah, I was actually surprised by that because I just started listening to Joe Rogan last year, and 'cause
What?
yeah,
Holy shit.
yeah, really, yeah. No, I never listened to Joe Rogan
Man.
until like last year,
Dang, that's crazy.
yeah, last year.
Yeah.
I was very ignorant actually, very very ignorant. I didn't like Joe Rogan. I thought he was like annoying.
Really?
I thought all he did was talk about like doing DMT and scream into the mic like he does with his have you ever watched his stand up? He just yells all the time. It's kind of
Yeah.
He's
I don't think he's that
got
funny.
real high energy. He's
Yeah.
not really
Andrew Schultz is funny.
Who?
Andrew Schultz.
I don't know him.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I didn't. I was like, like I'm not trying to listen to this guy talk about doing like psychedelics all day long and stand up comedy and MMA. Like I'm not really interested.
Yeah.
But then I gave it a shot and I was like, wow, this is fantastic.
Mhm.
And I listened to hundreds of hours of it easily.
I'm pretty sure he got well, he was definitely big, but the Elon Musk weed
Yeah.
smoking thing.
Oh, yeah.
That's what really got him going. That's
Yeah.
what got me in the know about Elon. And
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's a good thing about memes, man.
I'm not a meme guy either.
Yeah. Yeah,
Not a meme
memes
guy.
are really good for just letting me know what's going on. Just give me that first like little tidbit.
If you
I
can
can catch
decipher them, if you can figure out what they mean, I guess I don't know.
Even if it's like I see like a reoccurring picture of like a dude going around like a different caption, I'll be like, okay, so obviously this guy's significant. What did he do?
right,
Like I didn't know about
Steven
the,
Crowder.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's a meme.
yeah.
I
knew
like
about
I
him
like the
before.
phrase. He's like, yeah, you got turned into a meme. Like it's like a not derogatory. Maybe it is a derogatory thing.
Yeah,
It's like a demeaning thing. Like, oh, you're just a meme, dude. Yeah.
yeah. I didn't know about the twisted tea.
What about it?
You never saw that one? Like some dude assaulted someone, like used it as a weapon and like chucked it at
Oh.
someone. I didn't know about that until I saw
think
a meme.
I don't remember that.
Yeah,
I do know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I actually I wanted to send this to you. I forget. I think might have been on Facebook. I don't remember where I saw it, but this fucking dude was like giving the clerk at like the gas station store like a hard time, and he was like punching the COVID shield and like
Why's he doing
he like
that?
he tried to like punch the guy or something like that.
Oh man.
He was buying a bottle of wine, actually, believe it or not. That's what it was. And the fucking clerk grabs the bottle of wine. He comes around the countertop and he fucking bashes the dude with the bottle.
The head?
And then he breaks
Oh.
the bottle. And then you see him punch the fucking dude with the neck. Yeah, it was savage.
Where?
Some gas station.
No, but like where do you?
Oh, he's like fucking punching him right
Shanking
in the
him.
face.
Oh,
With the
all right. That's fucked up. That dude honestly should probably go to jail.
yeah.
You could have murdered that guy. You hit him in the
Yeah.
neck. You're gonna kill him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's like
It was
almost
pretty
attempted murder.
savage.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, that was totally off topic. I thought it was
But-
funny though.
Was there like a meme with that one? Is it?
No.
Oh no. Wow. So just talk about unrelated things. No.
Well, you brought up
Yeah.
the twisted tea with the gas station,
Assaulting people
assault, yeah.
Different weird things.
alcoholic beverages.
It probably wasn't that big of a deal. And then somebody at Twisted Tea that works there was like, all right, here's our chance to make our company more wealthy.
Let's make a meme.
Yeah, let's meme this thing.
You like twisted tea?
I've never had it. I didn't even know about it until see, there it is. I had no clue what Twisted Tea was. But now that I know what it
You
is,
didn't know what twisted tea was?
no, I'd never even heard of it.
Oh wow,
What is it?
it's just hard.
It's like a southern thing.
Oh, it's a drink. You can buy it at literally any gas station
Oh,
in America.
it's alcohol?
yeah, it's
I-
twisted.
I literally
tea.
have no knowledge of this shit, dude.
Yeah, I think they're pretty strong. Actually, there's probably a fuck ton of sugar in them, so they fuck you up. I've
Okay.
actually I can't say off the top of my head that I've ever drank one either.
So it's like a
kind
a
of
Mike's Hard Limit, but not
Yeah.
obviously not. But it's that kind
That's
of thing.
exactly
Yeah.
Right.
But it's tea.
Yeah.
Is it beer or is it like like vodka or what a Four Loko type thing? Sounds like a Four Loko type White Claw shit thing.
I don't know. It's alcoholic tea. I don't know.
Yeah. And now because of a meme, I know that
I think it's lemon flavored as well.
I now know of it to the point where I would want to buy it thanks to their meme.
You know what? You know what Arnold Palmer is?
Yeah.
A drink?
I think I do.
Iced tea and lemonade mixed with vodka. They make those in cans too. You can buy them. It's pretty good.
They have
I haven't
Jack
ever
and
drank
Coke
those
in
either, but-
cans.
What?
They have like Jack and Coke in cans.
Do they really?
Yeah. Well, they
No
had it in
way.
Netherlands. It was like
Uh,
a beer, same percentage. So it's like no
okay.
point.
right.
But
Yeah, well, because that doesn't make sense, right?
yeah, you want to.
You're telling me a Jack and Coke is 4.5%. That doesn't.
Yeah.
That shouldn't.
That
be.
means they put like
Yeah.
that much
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you know, you ever been to Applebee's? Yeah.
They're dollar readers.
Yeah, well, they do like
Dollar-ritas.
the endless, like the $1 Long Islands or $1 Margs or whatever. I had a buddy,
Marks.
margarita,
Yeah.
margaritas. I had a buddy that worked at Applebee's back in high school, and he used to tell me like how they make that shit. It's just like a big bag
Yeah.
of this powdered shit. And they pour. Yeah, it's definitely like really bad for you. But there's hardly any
Yes.
alcohol in it.
Yeah.
You can drink like 20 of them and be like kind of drunk.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, you'll just be like sick feeling from all that.
Oh
bullshit.
my god, yeah.
And they probably do it here, but in the Netherlands, if you went to some bar or whatever, and you're like, yeah, let me get a Jack and Coke. Actually, this is all Europe. I saw it in many different countries.
Mm-hmm.
They say, okay, and they pull out the garden hose, an actual like the gun garden hose.
I'm following.
And it's hooked up to
Spigot.
a spigot of Jack and probably that much.
Oh, you're joking.
That much Jack and like that much Coke, and they just go and fill up your glass and give it to you.
Oh wow.
And it's you're sitting there looking at that, and you're like, yeah, that has like literally no Jack in it. Thanks. Actually, why don't you be a bartender and do it correctly? And I want to see you do it. I want to get my double Jack that I asked for, not the double faucet squirt thing in the glass.
Do they? Well, number one, I don't drink Jack and Cokes, but do you put the
Yeah, it's a dirty drink.
you put the liquor in before the Coke or the Coke in?
Yeah, put liquor. I mean,
liquor in first and then the Coke.
yeah, I would always. You ever seen that
'Cause it
funny
mixes
video?
it up, right?
You ever seen that funny video on YouTube or Facebook going around? So there's this video that was like how to how to pour a Coke without it fizzing, and like they show before. It's like before, and he sets the glass down, opens up a 2 liter of Coke and pours it, and it's like like fizzing, and then it's like the next scene is it's like after, and he takes some Jack and pours it in, and then he pours the Coke in there. I guess something about how alcohol works. It doesn't fizz at all, and then he walks off with the glass. He poured like that much Jack in it. So it's like one of those funny things. But yeah, you definitely pour in the Jack first.
Right.
You don't like that stuff? I haven't had one of those
I don't
before.
drink Jack and Coke.
Yeah.
I don't really drink at all that much anymore.
Yeah, me either.
But when I was
As I slam this
quite
wine.
the drinker, I drank overwhelmingly the majority of beer and very little liquor. If I did drink liquor, I like gin and tonics. I like gin and tonic for sure.
I'm trying to get into gin and tonic's good. I'm trying to get into the whole like whiskey bourbon thing.
Not into it.
Really? Even just like you come back and you pour a little bit.
I think it's fucking garbage.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man, you just enraged a lot of people.
It doesn't taste like anything.
Really?
Yeah.
What about this wine? Do you think this wine tastes good?
Yeah. No, the wine tastes good.
But that's how they view whiskey and bourbon.
You can't tell me that shit doesn't burn your throat. I don't believe you.
Yeah.
I
I think it does for me, but I think you got the old man that's been drinking it forever. I don't think he notices it. This shit tasted disgusting to me at first. Now it tastes good. I think it's the same thing with them.
I don't know.
It definitely doesn't taste good.
Bill Burr says that's right. I got my opinion from old Billy, old fuckface. And yeah, I'm not into
What
it.
did he say?
He says the same shit. He says like, you can't fucking tell me that shit doesn't burn your throat when you drink it. And you just drink it because you think it's cool and
Yeah.
and it makes you look like you're fucking rich.
I
don't know,
really
'cause you're
think some
drinking
people like
fucking
it though,
80-year
man.
old scotch or something. I don't know.
I think some people really. I worked with a dude back in the Netherlands. He was an American, and he was from Kentucky, so like he was a fancy bourbon connoisseur dude, and yeah, he would like bring out his like nice shit when we would go over, like the stuff that had like a handwritten
Right.
label of like
Barreled
yeah,
on this day or whatever.
the percentage and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
They were cool, and they would put like points. They would put like what was it like 40? They put like 43.8%. Like
Oh, wow.
make it really specific and cool sounding. But yeah, he would give us some of that stuff, and I'd be drinking. I'm like, what in the hell is this? Like, how is this good?
Yeah.
And I asked him one time, I was like, so how do you enjoy this? How do you enjoy like a bourbon? He was like, all right, so you take it, and he was like, he poured some out. He had like these little. I have a funny story about that too.
Cubes.
But there's like these like they look like shot glasses, but they're a sipping glass. They have more of a stem to it, kind of like a wine glass.
Oh, okay.
There's probably a name for it, but he was like, yeah. So you pour it out, you spin it. It's kind of like wine, same concept. You spin it around and you smell it and all that, whatever. And then he was like, and then you take a sip and you basically you chew it.
Yeah.
And I was like,
That's
okay.
right. That's right.
I was like, what? I was like,
That is right, though.
How is this enjoyable? And yeah, and then you just drink it. And he just loved this shit. And I was like,
Yeah.
dude, this stuff is like liquid smoke. So smoky.
Well, some people enjoy the smoky flavor. That's definitely a bourbon thing, I think. Scotch is like a little bit different. It's like single malt
Yeah.
whiskey, which
The
means
whole-
it's just from one barrel, I think.
The Irish thing, right? It's this Irish Scotch whiskey. That's
Well, I thought it was Scottish.
oh, what am I saying?
Isn't that why it's called Scotch? Maybe I'm wrong.
What's Jameson? Where's that from? Sorry, I don't
Jameson is Irish.
know. Yeah, that might be where I'm getting. It might
But
be
there's
Scotch.
like Glenlivet and Lefroy. I know Lefroy is supposed to be pretty good Scotch.
Mhm.
And yeah, I don't know.
I can
Oh, go ahead.
I can see how people would be into it though. It's the same as it's basically they probably say it's a more manlier version than
Yeah.
wine. Like people would call us like beta males seeing us drink this stuff.
I'd rather
I like
drink that than
wine.
a fucking glass
I
of
love wine.
fucking whiskey.
But the second you pour it and you start doing this shit and looking at it and smelling it and sipping it, it's like, dude, just drink this fucking wine. It is poison. It's a poisonous thing to you. Just drink it.
Yeah.
It's nothing. It's not anything more than I think than it looks like.
Yeah. No, last year. Well, yeah, 2020, March 13th. I quit drinking last year. I was sober. I was like cold sober for probably about 8 or 9 months till like November. What is that? 3 plus like 7 or 8 months, something like that. And yeah, felt great. Love it. I'm definitely not a big drinker at all anymore. Maybe I'll have a glass of wine here, beer every month or so.
I like drinking. I will say that.
I don't. It's terrible for me. Make terrible decisions. It's not good for you.
Yeah, no, I don't like drinking like that. I like, well, I guess, there's a difference between like drinking and having a drink. It's kind of like when you say drinking, people are like, oh, you're one of those fucking party animals, and it has
Well, I
like a
am a
negative
party
connotation. Huh?
Oh, I'm a party animal.
Yeah, I haven't done that in forever.
Well,
So-
the thing is, I have a good tolerance. I can drink the whole bottle and be fine. Even still, like even now that I don't even drink that much anymore, I can still go out to a bar and have 6 or 7 beers and go drive to another bar and be perfectly fine. Yeah.
Don't say that, man.
Yeah. But I don't do that anymore. So
Yeah, I like having. If I have like a 12 rack, I'll probably drink every night. Just have one, but I like having my, whether it's beer or wine, because it's pretty much all I drink. I like having my 1, maybe 2 glasses.
yeah.
In the evening. I don't know. It's just a.
I can go
thing with
without
me.
it.
Yeah. Oh, I could too. But if it's accessible to me, I'm gonna have like one or two.
How about non-alcoholic beer? You ever try any of them?
I have. I tried Heineken Zero, and it actually tastes pretty good.
Oh, really?
But I think what it is they manipulate the taste of it to have some kind of appeal. It didn't taste like a Heineken.
Oh.
It tasted like a, or as the Dutch would say, Heineken. En is like with an in
really?
their language, yeah. I think it's more of like a kind of like a slang thing, like speeding. Some people cut off the G, speeding. But yeah, anyways, it tasted. It had like almost like a sweeter taste to it, I guess you could say. It had a taste that was enjoyable.
That's good.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to just take Heineken, suck all the alcohol out, and then just put it in a bottle. You're drinking this beer because let's be honest, some beer like objectively, I don't know if beer tastes good.
Really?
I don't know. I like drinking beer, but if I was to be completely honest, be like, all right, this flavor, is this like a good flavor? I would lean towards, I don't know. I think this tastes good.
I think beer tastes phenomenal.
Really? Yeah.
I drank Heineken for a long time, actually.
Like
probably about a year.
Yeah, it's good beer. Like, see, I say that. It's a good beer.
It is a good beer.
But I don't know what that means to me. When I say that, I don't think, when I say that's a good beer, I don't know if I'm saying that's a good tasting beer. Like, that tastes good.
Yeah. What else would you be basing it on?
I don't know. That's a weird thing.
That's the only
maybe
thing
it must taste good then.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Think about if you had a if it wasn't cold.
Oh. No.
But why does I don't know.
I don't know if this is a myth or not, but I think I feel like it is a myth. But they serve Guinness in Ireland, like room temperature.
I haven't heard that from buddies that went there. They've told me that it tastes better over there.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Yeah. I don't know if that's a
I heard they
real
drink beer
thing.
at room temperature. It's probably a myth. I have heard that.
All right, so if you had a Coke, like soda's good to me because I don't drink it hardly ever, so it's really good to me.
Yeah.
If you had a Coke that was cold and a Coke that was at room temperature, do you think that the taste would still be good?
The cold one is definitely better.
Yeah, but if you had the warm one, do you still think that like the taste of it would be good?
No.
Like regardless of the temperature?
No. I don't like Coke though.
Yeah.
If I had a cold Mountain Dew and a room temperature Mountain Dew, I think they would both taste fine.
A cold Mountain Dew and a room temperature Mountain Dew?
Yeah, I think they would both.
But if you
taste
did that
fine.
with a beer, it'd probably be kind of nasty if it was warm.
Oh, no, you tricked me into
it's like-
that. I'm just kidding.
So is it the taste, or is it the temperature? The temperature makes a beer good. Does it make it taste better? It seems like the taste is consistent across the board. Temperature is just a thing that adds on to the taste.
I don't know. Maybe with beer, the temperature it has something to do with the yeast in it, or the fermentation, or the carbonation. I don't know.
Because I think this wine tastes good, room temperature, but since it's red wine, I chill it for a second.
Right.
And I think that makes it more enjoyable. I think that's what it is. It's more enjoyable. Like a cold beer is for sure more enjoyable
It's
than a warm
refreshing,
beer.
I guess, too,
Yeah.
right?
I don't know if beer to me, it's not to be twisted either. I love beer. I've drank many different kinds of beer, but the taste of beer is, I don't know if it's to me good, like tasty. Like you drink it, it's like tasty. It's a good, refreshing beer. That's all it is to me.
You're like a light beer guy, aren't you, though? You don't drink too much Guinness or any type of stouts.
Not really, no.
That's why.
Like pilsners and lagers.
They have no flavor. They're
What
literally.
are you talking about? Wow, look at you. They have a enjoyable.
You drink a Guinness or some good stouts out there.
Yeah, I know.
Get a little peanut butter
IPAs.
stout or a coffee stout. No, not even IPAs.
IPA's got flavor to them.
Yeah, they
though.
do.
Yeah.
They do. Far more.
You
than
are right about that.
Far more than a pilsner or some fucking light ass lager.
A pilsner and a lager, some refined, like clear shit that has like.
Well, you're talking about light lagers. Like a real lager is actually at least a little bit brown, a little bit amber, maybe.
Yeah, there was this. I can't remember. It was like 3 letters or no 3 numbers. It was like 805 or something. It was like a coffee.
Stout?
Ale? I don't know. No, it wasn't a stout, but yeah, that was a really good one.
A coffee what, did you say?
I think it was an ale.
Oh, coffee ale?
Yeah. I might be wrong. No, maybe it was an amber. It was a good looking beer when you poured it in a glass. Yeah, it had like this nice, like slight red, darker amber color to it. It was a good looking beer when you pour it in a glass. I liked it. That was
It's got real flavor to it.
Flavorful, tasty beer to me. A lager, a pilsner. You're drinking like yeast juice.
Yeah.
It's yeast juice. It's not. How's that gonna taste good? If you took bread and like grain,
that's what you're drinking.
Squeeze it, yeah. So that's what I'm getting at. I don't know that, but I'm talking about that class of beers. When you start getting into like stouts and more flavor, like enriched things,
they're delicious.
Yeah, they have a taste.
It tastes excellent.
You can even say like a shock top because that has like shock top. It has like an orange peel. Shit
New Moon, Fat Tire,
Blue Moon, with the orange slice.
Yeah, I like Fat Tire from New Belgium.
It was funny coming back over here and having a American Belgian style beer.
Oh yeah,
and then tasting it, it's like, wow, there's that. I didn't know what that taste was until I was in Europe drinking actual Belgian beers, and it's a very distinct taste that it has. Yeah, I can tell you about some. If you ever want to go to like Total Wine and get some different Belgian beers, but the Belgian beers have that very distinct, I guess you could say sweet kind of taste to it.
Okay.
The one I had it was a Blue Moon, right? Yeah, that's a Belgian style beer. That's their claim. Mm-hmm. It had that taste to it, that very familiar taste, and I was like,
Blue Moon with an orange is great.
Yeah. When I was in Sweden, there's a random Swedes that I met up with. They had never had this. They never even they probably heard of it. They never had it though. One of the bars we went to, it was on tap. I was like, what?
Blue Moon on tap?
Yeah. I was like, over here in Gothenburg, Sweden? Isn't this? Don't you guys have your own? You're in Europe. Come on. It seems like you'd have like Carlsberg from Denmark up here. But no, they had Blue Moon. I was like, here, I'll get you guys some. And sure enough, they never had it. And something funny that the bartender cut a slice of an orange, like not a
wedge.
Yeah, not a wedge. And he just dropped it in. I was like, what in the hell are you doing? You're supposed to put it on the rim.
Yeah.
And they loved it.
Well, do you squeeze it and drop it in the wedge?
I actually don't do that.
Oh, I do.
Not like with a Corona. I would do that with the lime.
You do with the lime?
Yeah.
But not the orange on Blue Moon?
Then again, I haven't really drank it enough.
Oh, yeah?
I've only had it a few times. But all the times I did, I've actually ate orange.
Oh, yeah?
I didn't squeeze it in, though.
Yeah. I drank a bunch of Blue Moon. Blue Moon's good.
Yeah, I like Blue Moon. But like with Corona and stuff, you have like, I would put the salt on it and everything.
Yeah, I don't like Corona, but
run the lime around the bottle and then put the salt on there and it fizzes it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like it in that manner.
I brought up the non-alcoholic because there's a brewery called Athletic Brewing Company. They make alcoholic.
Athletic Brewing Company.
Yeah,
I like that.
And it's non-alcoholic IPAs. It's like a craft beer, but it's non-alcoholic.
Wait, so you're saying if I drink alcoholic beer, I'm not an athlete? Wow.
Alcohol has a lot of pretty bad health side effects.
Yeah, it's poison. It's super bad for you.
Halts your muscle recovery and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah, but sorry.
No, that's it.
What were you saying about?
No,
that's it. Oh.
Yeah, I mean they sponsor like marathons and stuff like that.
Where are they out of?
It's either Massachusetts or Connecticut, something like that. Somewhere in New England.
And they have what, a whole line? You said IPAs. What else?
They have.
Is that what they specialize in?
Their IPA is definitely the best and most popular one. I've tried quite a few of them. They have probably 7 or 8 different beers, and they do some seasonal ones that rotate in and out. But they have like 3 or 4 that are on that you can get all the time. They have it at Total Wine. Check it out. It's good.
Yeah.
I enjoy it quite a bit.
Well, it's definitely a smart move because when you start, actually, do they put like athletic type stuff to it? Like it has I don't know what's some like athletic sounding shit. You like I don't know creatine, probably not creatine, but like do they put like some like
In it?
what's that athletic greens or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Do they do something like that class of brewing process? They put some kind of healthy infused green.
Oh, they don't do it. They don't
No.
add anything like that at all. I don't know. The brewing process for an non-alcoholic beer is different. I forget how they get around the whole fermentation of the yeast or whatever. I don't remember exactly how. But
do you think any alcohol is generated, or do you think there is and they separate it?
No, I think it's like 0.5, 0.05 or less.
Yeah, there is still a little bit of alcohol in it.
I
It's a
can't
small amount.
remember the specific stat of it, but yeah, it's negligible amount.
Yeah.
But if I gave you the non-alcoholic IPA and a different IPA, you wouldn't be able to tell.
Yeah.
I've tried it with friends a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah. It'd be fun. There's actually a video on YouTube. I'm trying to think of the original like experiment. It had to do with I think they were testing if like a hangover is like a mental thing. Like you
Really?
I think I might be wrong. Well, let's pretend that's what it was, 'cause that's fun. But yeah, they had like 2 groups, and it might have been alcohol's effects on eating, and I think that's what it was. They had like 2 groups of people, and one was drinking alcoholic beer, others weren't, and they told them that they were doing a video and a test for something I can't remember, something completely unrelated. So they thought they were there to do something different, but in reality, they were being tested to see how fast the bowl of peanuts, which is what they're using, would disappear.
Yeah.
And
Between the drinkers and the non-drinkers.
and I think it proved right. I think the
drinkers
people
ate
drinking ate faster. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be interesting to see though how they brew it though, because it seems like they would separate it, as in they wouldn't have a brewing process that generates no alcohol. Because imagine what they could do with that. That's like that byproduct. You have this alcohol. You can sell that and do something with it, and then you can also sell your non-alcoholic beer. So if you had a brewing process that generated no alcohol, you're kind of like shortchanging yourself. But if that's the only way to achieve it, then yeah, it makes sense.
You can. I don't remember. I've looked into it before. I don't remember off the top of my head. You can read about it on their website. They actually explain how they do the whole brewing process. But there's some special thing about it. I forget what it is.
Yeah. Well, I'd imagine it might be like that because Heineken, I can't imagine them.
Oh well, they don't sell any alcoholic beer, but
Yeah. But Heineken has alcohol, obviously. So
right.
I can't imagine they would come up with a whole completely separate, maybe they do, like brewing process. They might just like somehow keep it separate from the actual Heineken alcoholic one, and then they probably put some other shit in there to make it taste better, because it does taste decent to a point where you'd want to drink it. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, the thing about non-alcoholic beer is it should not taste anything different. You should be able to drink a real Heineken and a Heineken, whatever it's called, Zero, right next to each other, and they should taste the same.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying about this
Very true.
athletic brewing company. What the hell is it called? I think it's called like Good Morning IPA or something like that. I forget. I forget what it's called. It's the one in the blue can. It's good though. And yeah, you literally can't tell the difference. You drank a random IPA and that one, you wouldn't be able to tell.
I wonder if it's easier to mask though, since it's an IPA, and you can come up with all different kind of flavors of IPA.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we were saying, you can't. That,
yeah, you're taking
that was my basis. I was kind of coming off of like if you had just straight up Heineken taste, and then there's no alcohol behind it, would you want to drink it? So that might be the reason why they put a little bedazzle to it, make it a little bit more tasty to you. So, but yeah, with an IPA, it's like when people have like a cocktail or something.
I mean, if you gave me I think Heineken has a good taste to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
More so than like a Bud Light or something. It's got more flavor than that. Not much, but something.
Yeah, because you know how you have people that have like I don't know, some mixed drink, and they're like, bro, you can't even taste the alcohol in it.
Yeah.
That the appeal is
to not taste alcohol.
Yeah. So let's say you had that in a beer, like Heineken or Heineken Zero, and you're like, I think that might be what they're going off of. So you have like this, because the cocktails that usually you can't taste the alcohol in, it's some like sweeter cocktail. So maybe that's their basis. They want to make it more tastier. I'm telling. Have you ever had a Heineken Zero? You should try it.
No.
You should see what I'd like to do it now. Huh?
What?
I'd like to do it now. Just make sure I'm remembering that correctly. But I'm fairly certain the Heineken Zero and a Heineken, they, like you're saying, I don't think they taste the same. It has a different taste to it. Makes it more appealing, like I was saying. Yeah.
The thing with the other thing about like the whole taste the alcohol thing is you're never gonna really taste the alcohol in a beer unless you're drinking some stout that's like 14% or something like that. And even then, you don't really. It'll get a little bit of a sting to it, but not like you're taking a shot or making a gin and tonic or something like that.
Are you a fan of Trappist beers? The Belgian Trappist beers? You ever heard of those? So the appeal with
spelled with a T, with a E, TR. It's like a TREPA.
No, it's still with an A.
Oh, yeah. No.
So the appeal with the Trappist beers is they're just a higher percentage beer. Like by default, I think the lowest is like 9. And it goes up from there, and you can get them in like doubles, triples, and quadruples, and it has to do with the amount of times they like distilled it. And that the more they distilled it, the more percentage you'll be easily in the double digits with a quadruple. But there's this Belgian Trappist beer, and it's claim to fame basically. I don't know if it's probably not. Yeah, it can't be like this today, but it was made by monks in Belgium, like in the early days. Yeah, and yeah, it's this higher percentage beer. I mean, they're darker, cloudy, can't see through them. But West Molly, if you want to try Trappist beer, I recommend that one. That's a good one. You got Total Wine. This is a Belgian Trappist beer. Pretty good stuff, but. Yeah, a lot of different European ones. You want to move on to the Belgian. Got Belgian on the brain. Beirut explosion.
Sure.
Yeah, thing. So we didn't watch the video. I meant to show you the video beforehand, but I can probably explain it to you. We were kind of talking about it before. So for everybody that's listening to all our dedicated fans, what was that last year? The Beirut explosion.
Yep.
Yeah. 2020 Beirut explosion. It was caused by, I'm pretty sure, a fireworks factory caught on fire, which then spread to it was at a shipping port, and it spread to this building that they had been keeping a huge amount, obviously a ginormous, you guys probably saw the video. Just look up Beirut explosion, you'll see it. It was a huge amount of ammonium nitrate, right? That they had seized from ships, I think.
I'm pretty sure it was given to them by Iran over the years. Huh?
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought they seized it, but
no.
Yeah, they had been told many times prior to that, I'm pretty sure, over the years that they needed to I don't know if they were told to get rid of it, but I'm pretty sure they were told by whoever that is a giant problem and that is a disaster waiting to happen.
Yeah.
And sure enough, the disaster happened, and then what was the comparison? There was when it shortly after it happened. There's news stories going around that it was like a tenth of the bomb dropped on Hiroshima. It was something. It was some percentage.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's something though. Yeah.
Massive explosion.
Yeah, it was huge.
Yeah. Borderline stepping like almost nuclear. Maybe not, but it was huge. Anyways, the point I'm getting to is before the blast, directly after the blast, you have a shockwave, obviously, and that's what you hear. I think the videos going around is probably anywhere from like 3 to 4 seconds after the blast. You see it coming, bang.
Maybe even longer, depending on where depending on where it's from.
Right. So for the explosion, depending on how far away traveling at the speed of sound, it's going to take that amount of time for the shockwave to reach you, and it's going to be a loud explosion. Mm-hmm. But immediately when it goes off, you can hear the air, I guess, moving, which is crazy to me because I don't know. It probably shouldn't be as crazy as this, but when you're going off of the understanding that with explosions and stuff reaches you and comes at you at the speed of sound, basically, unless it's an actual fragment of the explosion.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, obviously that's going to be moving faster than sound. But when it comes to like the atmosphere and the air around you, not like something physically hitting you, like pieces, it's air hitting you. That moves at the speed of sound. So when you have this thing instantaneously moving with it, that's the thing that's pretty like fascinating to me. And you were telling me a little bit about it, of like what that sound is and what is happening.
Yeah, so. the positive and negative front of the shockwave. Mm-hmm.
So is it essentially the atmosphere moving?
Yeah, it's just air.
Yeah. But instantaneously you see this thing like.
Yeah, it moves at like 24,000 feet per second or something like that.
That's insane. Yeah. Like what moves that fast?
Not much.
Like I'm trying to think of like a way to.
It's also a fraction of an inch thick. It's millimeters.
Wait, what
if
is?
not less.
What is?
The shockwave. It's like this thin. It's very, very thin.
Okay. So I think the way I understand it might be wrong. So when the blast goes up, everything is like the atmosphere is like a one-piece thing.
Yeah. So the explosion happens and it pushes the air, and that's the shockwave. But before that happens, there's also the negative vacuum effect of the explosion. When that explosion first goes off, all that fire is caused because it's sucking all the air and turning it into flame. At the same time.
And that is pulling
something
instantaneously who knows how far away. It's like it's in sync basically.
Right.
You got like air 10 miles away, explosion here. Something happens here instantaneously in sync. It's moving with it.
Right, depending on the strength of it, yeah. Well, have you seen the nuclear bombs go off, the mushroom clouds? How it sucks in?
Yeah.
That's what's happening. It's sucking it all in, and then it goes up.
So I was thinking that when it comes to all that stuff, there's always a delay. Because I'm used to seeing like the explosion, 5, 4, 3, up, here comes the blast. Because it's moving at as fast as it can. I didn't know that there was ever a time where stuff is in sync miles away.
Well, that huge of an explosion, yeah.
So something I was thinking of, this might be something they can come up with. So if that, let's see, it might not be realistic because that was a giant explosion, but if you have anything disturbing the atmosphere, whether it's like an explosion, what I was going to get to is like rifle fire, like weapons fire, tank fire, anything like that. If it almost comes down to like that quantum shit where things are in sync, no matter how far away they are.
Yeah.
So what I was getting to is we'll just use a tank as an example. It's still a pretty sizable thing. Not like that, but let's say you had a tank firing at you from a closed position or camouflage position. You don't know they're there, or like we'll say even a sniper.
Okay. Concealed position.
Yeah, concealed position. So if they fire at you, that is disturbing the atmosphere, right? Because if it's
pushing the air.
Yeah.
The bullet, the projectile.
But how far away is that shifting, like making a disruption in the atmosphere? How far away do you think that is? Because what I'm getting at is you could be far away and have some kind of sensor that detects disturbances in the atmosphere, and you'll know you're getting fired on before the round gets to you because it can detect that disturbance in the atmosphere.
In terms of like a small arm like that, not far at all. I mean, have you stood next? I'm sure you have. You stood next to a rifle and the blast from the muzzle.
Right.
You feel it on your face.
Yeah.
Doesn't go that far.
Hmm.
If you're 10 yards next to somebody, you're not going to feel it.
We're not going to feel it, but what if it's a very, very sensitive
I would
sensor?
I would say
I might be reaching for straws here.
I would say like 50 yards at most. Probably less than that. I don't know. Yeah.
Thinking about having...
But as far as the projectile in the air, that there's like a little vacuum around that as it's moving through.
Right.
Probably behind it, actually. That's probably there's probably like a little dead zone of air behind it.
Yeah, that's what causes vapor trails. When you look at those videos on YouTube of people shooting very, very long range, you can see the round and going down. Yeah. It's because of the atmosphere being disturbed. Mm-hmm. It kind of comes down, it reminds me of, so there's this video on YouTube, it's called The Speed of Push. So the analogy was that, it wasn't really an analogy, but there's this theory of nothing can move faster than the speed of light from what we understand. Speed of light is like, if something can move faster, we can say speed of light is very fasting. So if you had we'll say a laser in space, and you shine it at something 1 light year away, it would, from the time you turn the laser on, it would take 1 year for that light to reach there. So what if you had a theoretical 1 light year long stick, we'll say? Could you push this thing and it would just break all that? Let's say there's a button that was 1 light year away and you had a 1 light year long stick. Can you just hit the button?
Oh.
And
a unit of like a physical.
And you just broke all.
Oh, you're saying a 1
physics?
light year long stick?
Yes.
That's like saying a 1 hour long stick. I don't think it's the same measure. I don't think it's the same metric. You know?
Well, yeah, it doesn't have to be 1 light year. It could be like it takes the sun 8 minutes for its light to get to us. If you had an 8 light minute long stick, okay, are we breaking the speed of light? And there's actually a speed of push. Like it's a domino effect of all the particles.
Oh, okay.
You can't. You probably can't even measure on Earth,
right?
Because you don't have something that big,
right?
But there's actually a speed of push, and you can't just break
of how when I move my hand around the amount, the speed of the particles moving around. Yeah. Is what you're saying, right? Yeah, yes. That's probably. I have no idea.
Yeah. So, but it's a real thing. So that's why the Beirut explosion thing was cool to me, because it's like it was breaking the speed of sound. And in a, not even by a little bit, but in an instantaneous way. Right. You hear a sound 5 seconds before sound reaches you. That's what was so interesting to me. And what it is I guess it's just the atmosphere is like all one moving piece. So if that moves 5 miles away, this moves immediately. It doesn't take time where it's like reeling in the slack and then it moves. No, it's like shifting together. Yeah. It's pretty wild.
You also don't know in that video. Maybe it's like an ambient noise. You just don't. I don't know. Maybe it was just a gust of wind.
And
Could have a gust of wind 5 miles away. That
no,
wasn't.
it was
totally,
two different videos I watched, completely different locations,
Totally,
same phenomenon.
Oh, really?
I'll
Okay.
show it to you after
There
this.
you go. Well, that's corroborating it then.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I think that's cooler than it is, but the fact that you're breaking. It's like someone is a light year away with a flashlight and they turn it on, but you somehow know the light is going to hit you instantaneous before the light reaches you.
What is a light year though?
It's how far a light travels in a vacuum. So that's what I was saying about the 1 light year long stick. That distance, however many billions of miles that is, if you had a 1 billion mile long stick and you're pushing,
I see what you're saying now.
is it instantaneous? It's not, because there's a speed of push and a giant. And there's a speed of push in everything. When I push this glass,
Right.
the end of where I'm pushing, the particles got to collide, all the atoms, and then it obviously here nothing is big enough to where it doesn't look like it moves instantaneous.
Right.
But when you get something that long, it's like a domino effect.
Right.
It's like a slinky.
There's a delay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I see.
If there's like a 1 light year long piece of metal and someone could talk to you instantaneously, be like, all right, I'm pushing it.
Yeah.
You would.
Is it touching me? Yeah.
Yeah, it would. It's like a slinky.
Right.
Reverse slinky, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying now. Yeah, that's interesting.
So that was my piece on the. It's a very. I'm sure I don't know how many other people caught onto that either in those videos. I don't know. I'd like to find a video of somebody explaining that to me. That's kind of like the other thing I've been wanting to have explained to me is if you are scuba diving.
Oh, okay.
Or you're a swimmer, why don't you get crushed when you go down and lay on the floor of the sea?
Well, if depending on how deep you go, you would.
Yeah.
Right?
So I don't know though. People go down like really, really deep.
Yeah, but not.
Like there's.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's really deep sea scuba divers. Yeah, they go down like really deep. So, like what?
The weight. It's because like you're not in like a. I feel like it's because like if you were in like a silo, if you were in like a 800 foot deep or 800 foot deep silo of water, like a shoulder width tube, I feel like that'd be different than because then all that water weight is like directly on top of you, as opposed to being in the ocean where it's like spread out. I guess I don't know.
No, because it is applying pressure on you. If you're in the ocean or you're in a silo, it's water is being it's a force applied to you, regardless of the shape of the container, basically.
Right.
So if I swam down, and you can find videos of people swimming super deep.
Yeah,
it's insane.
You're right.
So how does that not crush you? It doesn't make. So the way I think of it is,
I think if you go to a certain depth, you would be crushed. But
so a gallon of water weighs about 8 pounds.
yes.
So if I place my hand on the table or the ground and I set a gallon of water on my hand, that's a sizable force. That's 1 gallon of water.
Right.
So when you swim down 20 feet, how many gallons?
Right.
We'll say 20 feet. We even talk about swimming pool because it's more easy to talk about. You swim down to the bottom of an 8 foot deep pool and lay on the bottom of the floor.
Mm-hmm.
We'll say spread out. That's like having people place like I don't know how many gallons of water that is above you. How does that not crush you? That's my thing.
I don't know.
Do you get crushed when you lay on the floor, but if you're suspended in water, do you die?
Wait, what?
Does it feel? I don't think it does. So if you swam down 8 feet in the ocean and you're just I don't know how you could say the part of the ocean that you're at is 20 feet deep, but if you swim down 8 feet and you're just suspended and you're floating.
In the water column.
Does that pressure feel different than if you swam to the bottom of a 8-foot swimming pool and you lay on the floor and there's
8 feet in the ocean and 8 feet in the pool?
And you got this immovable floor of the pool. It's like,
underneath you.
yes, you're under all that weight. Like, I don't get how you don't get crushed.
I don't know. This is probably like this. I think this is like a very like simple, like a high school physics student could probably answer this question like right now.
I would love to hear it. But because do you see what I'm saying? Like, water is heavy, super heavy.
Yeah, but it has to do with like the atmosphere and the volume. The pressure. But you are right though. When you are under a lot of pressure when you go down, every 33 feet is the atmosphere.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Whole atmosphere. Wow, that's
1 bar, one barometric, whatever. Every 33 feet is an atmosphere underwater.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go down 33 feet, you're at 1 bar, 2 bars, 66. Yeah.
Yeah,
so that's like saying that at the surface level. So if you go down at 33 feet, you have twice the surface level pressure on you.
Mm-hmm. So something maybe you already know this, but I didn't learn this until like a few months ago. So it's related to atmospheric pressure. So when you take I figured this out on YouTube. I think the example used was if you vacuumed out, if you took a 2-liter bottle and stuck a vacuum pump up to it, like with a needle, and sucked out all the air, the bottle is going to collapse.
Yeah.
The reason why it collapses, I might be telling you something you already know. I never thought of this. It's not because you're sucking the air out. It's because the atmosphere is crushing it. There's nothing inside the bottle to push out against the force of the Earth's air around it. Isn't that wild?
I think you could say it's like both. It's like one where it's like is the glass half full or is it half empty? It's kind of one of those. It's like you are taking the air out, and the effect of that is the atmosphere is crushing it, I guess.
Yeah, but it's not being crushed because you're.
If you did the same thing underwater, it would still be crushed.
Yeah, it's because the weight of the water is crushing it down.
Right.
It's not because you're. I think people might think when they will say, you can even do it with like your mouth. If you took like a Gatorade bottle or something, you went like, and it collapses.
Right.
I think they might think it's collapsing because they are pulling the air out, and it's hard to explain. Like the act of pulling the air out pulls the bottle with it, so to speak. But it's not. There's nothing in there to counteract the pressure of the atmosphere around it. So in reality, there's this thing constantly squeezing, and now when you take away the thing that's pushing it back, it wins. And it collapses.
I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think if you did the same thing in space where there was no atmosphere and you sucked the air out of a bottle, it would still collapse.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. The power of the suction, I think. Yeah, I think so.
Interesting.
You don't think it would?
So you're,
if you took the air out of a Coke bottle in space, would it collapse? I think it would. I don't know.
I don't know that it would, man. If you had we'll say we did the same experiment with the vacuum pump.
Oh, maybe not. Maybe you're right.
If you had it in space and there was air in it and you sucked the air out.
Right.
I think it would just suck the air out, and you could keep sucking on it, and it would just not. I don't know that it would collapse. There's nothing.
There's no opposing force.
Yeah, but the force of it pulling doesn't collapse it. It's the force of it pushing on something that can't push back is what makes it collapse.
Yeah.
That would confuse my mind if I saw that. I'd be like, why is it not collapsing?
Yeah, it would look weird, wouldn't it?
It's the same thing when you go down with people that have like there's GoPro videos of YouTube. People doing like dives down into caves. They'll have like this bottle of water.
Yeah.
And then they'll swim down and it starts getting crushed.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very. So if you
Same thing with balloons. You bring a balloon down, you bring it back up. Yeah.
That's why you can't do it the opposite way or it'll explode. Scuba divers that swim down really deep and then inhale. Oh.
Yeah. You can die. You'll explode
blast
your
lungs out.
Yeah.
That would be. So now we got we need to get a science teacher on here. All right, tell me why I don't get crushed, and then tell me if a vacuum soda bottle in space gets collapsed. That's two decent questions.
Yeah,
might be trivial, but
but it's they're probably it's a pretty simple answer. It's either yes or no. I have a feeling that I think you might have changed my mind about the bottle in space, but
Well, while we're on the topic of like weird shit, the mirrors, the goddamn mirrors,
like the reality or whatever. What is it?
Yeah. Oh no, how deep this is. It's probably really fucking dumb, but anyways, I had a thought the other day. Several weeks back at this point. Basically, mirrors are the greatest creations of reality.
Right.
Recreations, I should say.
Yes.
We talk about, and we have a bunch of like creations. I guess they're all recreations though, because we're all remaking things that we already know of. Kind of, whatever. Video games, simulations, CGI. It's all getting better. Then you have
even film, even photography.
Yeah,
it's not really. That's just light recorded onto a piece of paper.
Yes.
At the end of the day.
It's very good. Yeah.
It's not really.
What is a picture?
It's just light recorded onto a piece of paper through a sensor of some kind. It's not actually reality, I don't think.
Yeah.
Like if you go watch a movie, that's all it is. It's just the most very fundamental thing of watching a movie on film or on a screen, I guess, is however that was recorded. The first way it was recorded is onto the film. Well, with digital, then you talk about digital and everything.
But still,
at the end of the day, it's still just light. Yeah, recorded onto data, turned into data on film or whatever it is. Yeah. So, a mirror is actually the reflect. Yeah, the mirror is
beautiful.
Quite a bit different. Yeah,
it's a recreation. I don't know how else to explain. Do you think it's a recreation? I think it's a recreation.
Well,
so when you look into a mirror
through reflection,
yes,
because it's so shiny, or what?
I think it's definitely a recreation because you can't see what's around the corner. If you have a mirror, you can see around the corner. So the mirror is recreating the thing around the corner, we'll say.
Well, I don't know. But you're just seeing what the mirror is seeing. It's not necessarily recreating it.
It is a reflection, yeah, obviously.
Right.
But it's
not like a port. You're trying to kind of make it sound like it's like a portal into a different view of the world.
It kind of is, a little bit. Maybe not a portal. It's just a fucking mirror, bro. It sounds so stupid.
Well, no, it's a deep thought.
It is. You get some guys on some drugs, but they'll tell you what a mirror is.
Yeah. Well, you don't want to look in the mirror when you're doing some of those things. Get trapped in your own eyes.
It's kind of like the way I was thinking about the mirror thing is it's kind of like dreams. Dreams are really underrated. Dreams are the best best simulator of reality. VR is a simulator. Video games are a simulator. Dreams are the undisputed greatest if I can keep saying it, simulator of reality. Because I think dreams are.
Are they?
I think dreams are nothing more than a built-in, very advanced VR headset. What do you think?
But in your dreams, you can dream things that aren't real, though, right? If you had a dream about like Medusa or something.
I'm getting more at the realism aspect of it.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, and it's built in, free of charge.
Like
every
like
night,
you're
usually.
Like if you were in your dream, but you didn't know it, like you would think it was real, right? You think it is real when you're in your dream, right?
Yeah.
It's like your reality at that point in time. You know about lucid dreaming or anything
Yes,
like that? Yeah.
that is people that have the ability to control that. I can't lucid dream. I've never done it. I've tried.
You've never been able to control your dreams? Never.
No, never.
Even how I have, for sure.
Oh man,
I can't do it like controllably.
Okay, so the people
like
that
on
can
demand or anything. I've been in dreams where I can manipulate the dream, but I can't like go to sleep and do it.
Okay,
I want.
Now I have. Okay, I lied. Yes, I've been in dreams like that.
I can drive the dream where I want it to go, but I can't necessarily like. Well, maybe in that way, maybe I am creating things in the dream, but I can't do it on demand. I've said this before, but I rarely even remember my dreams. So
yeah. Now the people that on like clockwork can lucid dream every night.
Yeah,
that is a damn superpower. That is the best VR headset that you can't buy.
It's probably addicting.
Yeah.
You know, I think is it maybe it is Rogan that talks about it. How he like, or maybe it's Lexa. One of the two. They about how the VR headsets are going to get better and better and better, and then before you know it, people are going to rather be in the VR than than the real life.
Yep.
Sooner or later, in the next 15 years, the VR is going to be far more enjoyable than real life.
Yeah, that's why.
Whether depending on how far you let it take over you.
It's coming, dude.
Yeah, no, it is for sure. I mean, could you think about that? You just sit here in your room. But you're going to work, you're driving whatever kind of car you want, you got your whatever.
That's why Elon, when asked about the simulation, I think he...
Holy shit. I just blew my own mind.
What's that?
With everything, with everyone working from home for the past year. Could you imagine if you were just... Yeah, you're working from home, but you're in VR the whole time. You still drive and commute to work. And you go to your office in the VR, and you have your board meeting in VR, but you do it all from your couch.
What a complete loss in your humanity, you know?
Yeah. Holy shit, dude. Yeah.
And just
it's totally artificial.
Just 100 years
so
ago,
fucking made up.
100 years ago,
it never existed.
That was unimaginable.
Yeah.
Maybe Tesla was around. He probably could have come up with something. Einstein too. But
like a virtual reality,
yeah.
To the extent that I just described, probably pretty unimaginable. But
it's going to be like that movie Upgrade, great movie. But yeah, so what you're saying is something that Elon said. He was talking about how I don't know if he thinks we're in a simulation. I think he definitely entertains simulation theory.
Yes.
But he was talking about how if this is all simulation, then the outside has to be super boring. You know?
Compared to the game, right? What?
Yes. So if this, like what you're saying,
this is the entertainment.
Yeah. So if we have a VR headset where we play as a character in, Ready Player One type thing. We play in a fantasy land, and that character has a consciousness, and it thinks it is sentient and free will, and it doesn't think it's being controlled by anything.
Oh,
that is a entertaining world in that character's eyes. Meanwhile, on the outside, the person that's pulling the strings, who has a VR headset on, is comparatively living in a boring world, so to speak.
Right.
I mean, it's pretty good. what we have around us. I mean, we can maybe not as much this year and last year, but world's pretty cool, pretty fun place. A lot of stuff to do. So if this is a simulation, if this is all just simulation, then who's pulling the strings? Like, this is must be boring. Like Elon says, it's got to be boring on the outside if this is all just a game. The simulation theory really, it's a good one. I enjoy the simulation theory, and I do think that there is I know for 100% certainty that we're going to come up with some grand simulation down the road, and maybe our lifetime. We got plenty of simulations now that are getting more and more realistic every single year. When does that character in your favorite video game become a conscious thing? I don't know if that's with AI and all that
I was
bullshit.
going to say with the AI.
Yeah.
You make the AI so smart that it thinks on its own.
Yes.
Based off everything that you just make it a human. You make an AI human brain. You give it all emotions that we have and everything.
And
my God, that's such a that's a crazy conversation because then you talk about then it's like the AI is the AI creating things, or is it just reproducing things that we taught it? Is it actually creating?
No free will. It's just doing things that.
Yeah, but is it making up its own things, or is it doing it because we taught it to, and through its algorithms and programming, that's what was reproduced?
Right. So this might be interesting. So with the simulations that we have nowadays, video games, all that, I guess a video game is a simulation, pretty much. Maybe I'm wrong. So a lot of the video games that we come up with are, even if it's like fantasy as shit, it still has it's input from our understanding today.
Right.
So your simulation is still a byproduct of what we have here on Earth. So if this is a simulation, then what is outside of simulation could be relatable and familiar looking to as the world is that we see around us. It could be more bleak and stuff. Like, let's say we break
the creator.
Yes.
If this is the creation, then the
creator is relatable.
Yeah.
So like the Truman Show, that movie, Jim Carrey, you break out. Let's say someone breaks out. If this is a simulation, someone breaks out Maze Runner. That the whole maze was, the outside world was bleak and desolated, but it was still familiar. Like, oh yeah, it looks like that, just less cool.
Mm-hmm.
So the outside world, if this is a simulation, could be, I don't know, destroyed world, still relatable. The creators of this could be human beings that look like us.
Right.
Something like that. A four-limbed, intelligent being thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. The simulation theory is a good one. You're just a creation of my world. Like you don't, like, there's a
you think you're in a simulation and I'm in an independent
you're just a NPC, a sentient.
You don't think it's all one
everybody has their own world.
Oh wow.
Their own simulation. That's another.
I've never thought about it that. I was thinking I'm in like the Westworld mentality of like this is just like one big world.
Oh.
We're all
Westworld. Good one.
Yeah.
That's a good. Man.
I'm thinking about that the AI creating thing. Like if you told an AI to paint a picture, is it creating that picture?
That's a good one.
Or is it just drawing it because it knows how to draw from what we tell it to do?
No, because nothing's sentient right now, as far as we know.
Nothing's what?
Sentient.
Yeah. Right. So it's just doing what we do.
Yeah. But even if, let's say...
It's not actually creating.
It's not free will. It's doing something that it thinks it's doing on its own, but from
because
the
of what we...
previous...
Because it's pattern, knowledge, and... Yeah.
So when something does become sentient...
And it just makes shit.
But it becomes sentient from... Let's say we keep plugging in stuff to something. Just keep doing it. Years and years. And then it becomes... I can finally think for itself.
Because it's just so smart at that point.
But all that shit we put into it is still from us.
Right.
So is it a free thinking
Yeah,
thing?
but I think you get to a point where maybe it levels out. You just make it so fucking smart that it's as smart as you. Whether it can create shit or not, it's still just as smart as you. You're not going to create anything that this fucking AI is not that this AI is going to create. You know, that you can't do anything that this computer can't do.
It could almost come down to
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I said that wrong, but yeah.
It could almost come down to our unethical experiment that I came up with.
Oh yeah, definitely. It very quickly gets into that realm.
What is something? Okay, so what we said last week. What does a human speak if never exposed to language? What does something think if never exposed to thoughts and ideas? That's what a sentient AI is.
Yes, it's just a blank mind. It's just blank. Nothing. Literally.
So I don't know. I think it's impossible to create something, a sentient thing without any input.
Oh, sentient thing. Well, see, that's different.
A free thinking. Well, yeah, that's what I was getting to. Like, something. If AI is going to become sentient, is from us preloading with things. How's something going to become free thinking if it's never inputted with anything?
Well, let's talk about the whole sentient thing. I think it's not actually sentient. It's like artificially sentient. It's so artificially smart that it appears sentient, but it's really not. I think when you like the meaning of the word like still applies, and it doesn't meet that criteria. I don't think. Like it's not really sentient. We've made it to a point where it appears sentient because it's equally as smart. Right.
But even if yeah, I see where you're getting at. Because we're the creator, right? So
like if you took you right now and every single thing that you know in your brain, like every bit of knowledge that you have, and you put it into an AI, it still wouldn't be sentient.
Okay.
It's literally you in a computer, but it's not sentient. It can create everything that you can create right now, but not anything beyond that.
I think the more fitting word is autonomous. It's doing things on its own.
On its own, yeah.
It's not.
I agree with that.
But it can. Yeah, I see. Is something sentient? Like, is a human being sentient? We're just doing things on our own from stuff that we were taught by our parents.
Yeah, but we do have independent thoughts.
But the AI that has independent thoughts, are those independent? Because we put the programming into it to tell it to. I think sentience comes from something.
I would say no to that. I would say no to that, but yes to humans. If you were born and put on an island and never had any human interaction, you would still have thoughts.
Right.
Sentient thoughts.
That's a good one.
No matter what they're about.
I think it would. The defining line from sentience would be if an AI started doing something and we never taught it. So that would be sentience.
Yes.
And that's scary. Then you got iRobot.
Yes. That's where the line is crossed. Yeah.
Okay. So
when it's creating things that we didn't teach it to do. Yeah.
That's an interesting thing because I never understood.
That's what it is.
I never thought of sentience in that manner. Yeah. There's definitely a distinction between autonomy and sentience.
Yes.
Autonomy is doing something that you got the robot that is your.
It's putting a truck together for a Ford factory.
It cleans your house if we're getting in that line.
Yeah.
It's doing that on its own from a baseline of pre-inputted told knowledge. Yeah. But when you come home one day and the robot has painted your house and you never taught it to do that, that's sentience.
Yeah.
And that's when you need to.
Oh, I decided I wanted the walls to be green today.
And then you're like, You're hitting the power button on that one.
Yeah. Where's the fucking kill switch?
That's good. I'm glad we talked about that because I never thought of. I knew what sentience was and all that. I understood that, but I never thought of it in that manner.
Yeah.
Autonomy and sentience. Interesting.
You think we're in agreement, right? I think so.
Yeah. So I was thinking more of sentience being it does things on its own, but you brought up how yes, it's doing things on its own, but that's autonomous. That's like my coffee pot starts at 10 because I told it to.
Sure.
It did it. Yeah, I don't know. That might be a good example.
That's good enough.
If it has AI in it and I don't need to interact with it,
Yeah.
and it just does it, and it knows that it's a Saturday and I get up later, so it's gonna start at 11 instead of 7.
Yeah.
That's it's doing it on its own, autonomously. It's not thinking.
Right.
But like what you said about someone being trapped on an island, they have never been taught thoughts, but they still have thoughts.
Yeah, if you took a
Right.
baby from the womb and put a bag over its head and then dropped it off on an island and let it somehow survive, I don't know. If you put it on life support and then dropped it on an island in a it's hooked up to this life support machine, it would still be thinking about things. Whether it learned
sentience.
literally had no interaction from anywhere. You could keep it in the bag. You can keep it in a black box. It will think about something. I don't know what that is, but it's thinking about something.
Oh, what language?
I don't know. Babies don't.
Oh,
babies
man.
don't speak
Oh.
anything. They just make noises. But
Is it thinking? What if it doesn't have a thinking voice? Your thinking
they're
voice
thinking,
is
dude.
your
That brain
voice.
is working. That brain's working before it's even born. Actually born. You know.
Yeah, it has to be. Dogs don't really
The
have.
baby's alive in the body. You know, it's still the brain is definitely having thoughts.
A horse. Like a horse doesn't have a speaking voice in a classical sense of talking.
Right.
Horses make noises and they communicate, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But like, what is so a horse doesn't. Horse thinks, but it doesn't necessarily have a thinking or a voice.
Right. I'd actually love to talk about this animal communication. I think it's kind of a fun topic. The horse isn't thinking in its brain in like horse speak, right?
Yeah, it's not going. yeah. Okay.
Right. No, that's not happening, right?
So what is it thinking?
Or is it?
I don't think it does. That'd be retarded. That's if we somehow learn.
It's retarded to you just because you can't interpret it and you don't know what it's trying to think.
Oh, come on. If we hooked up a Neuralink to a horse and then we hear its thoughts are actually like something out of a cartoon, you'd be like, really? I think they just reason.
Don't you think that the horse is thinking like, I'm thirsty right now?
Yeah, but
I'm hungry right now.
in its thinking voice, what does that sound like? I think they just reason and
I don't.
it's like just a silent.
Just working. Yeah, that's an interesting topic. Interesting.
They can reason, but maybe they don't like have cognitive like thinking.
Yeah. What's the whole self-aware thing? Are horses self-aware? I've heard that I've heard that phrase like thrown around.
Self-aware.
Have you heard that thrown around? Like elephants and like dolphins.
I think self-aware goes
chimpanzees. They're like
Yeah,
self-aware.
I think
They like
that
know about themselves. You know.
I think people definitely for sure I know this. They throw around self-aware and sentient like synonyms. I think they're kind of one and the same.
Okay, I can agree with that. I think
A horse is. Yeah, I mean you could never train a horse and it would know to go get water, go move away in danger.
so. They are sentient.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think all biological life is.
Yeah, anything that's
sentient.
alive is sentient. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why we're like trying to create an artificial thing that becomes like a biological thing sentient.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but what's an animal's thinking voice? Like I talk in my head, in my language.
Right.
Like when you go to the zoo and you see that silverback gorilla sitting there looking at you, sitting down with his arms crossed, that thing is thinking and staring at you. That's
Yeah,
what I've
it's
always
thinking.
found
It's always
fascinating.
Everything is always thinking.
Yeah. It's more relatable though, because I think the gorillas are actually thinking like more human-like thoughts.
Yeah,
So,
sure.
probably dolphins.
Yeah.
But
Elephants.
but in their head, like what is it? Are they talking to themselves?
like
if
right
they-
now, I'm thinking of. Like I'm talking to myself in my head, like right now. But Oh man, I don't know, man.
Enter Neuralink.
Yeah.
That is going to look. I know it was supposed to be for like quadriplegics and stuff. Put that shit on hold.
Yeah.
I got to figure out what the gorillas are thinking. Like and
Get them to bench press.
but yeah, and hook them up to the bench press. We're gonna settle this debate. We're gonna figure out how much the silverback can actually bench press.
What did you say? Like 1,300 pounds?
I looked it up. It was 3,000. Yes, I was wrong.
Are you
yeah,
serious? You
yes.
said 1,300.
Yep,
Right?
I did.
3,000
Yep.
pounds. Are you fucking serious?
That's serious. 3,000.
What?
It doesn't even make it. It is so unfair. That thing hasn't picked up a fucking weight in its life. I mean, it climbs around in trees, but it's never. It hasn't.
Yeah,
It
doesn't
doesn't
hit the
lift.
gym. Yeah.
That's like. It just does what it's meant to do.
Biologically.
Humans are meant to, walk around and stuff. We could never squat like 1,000 pounds.
Well, I mean, ants. Ants. They're
Proportionately, pick up a ton of weight.
yeah, their strength to weight ratio is. I think it's one of the highest. I think it might be the highest.
Yeah, they
can
carry
pick up
huge
like
leaves
huge,
around.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Compared to the weight of an ant, which is like fractions of a milligram, I guess. They can pick up sticks and twigs that are a couple grams,
yeah,
a couple hundred times their weight.
insects are weird.
Yeah.
So they are basically like proportionately insanely strong and proportionately very immune.
Yeah.
If you have a
Some of them can fucking fly. Yeah.
yeah, but I'm talking more like you have a I won't use that bug. People like ladybugs. It's also something more malicious. If you have a spider on your hand and you flick it, okay, proportionally, think about a human being flicked.
Oh, you would die.
Yes, that spider
At
doesn't
the
die.
same.
That
the
spider,
same-
boom, hits the
Well-
wall, crawls off. If
If you were kicked by a giraffe,
that's not even you need something bigger.
bigger.
Yeah. Think about
Spider? Yeah, you're right.
a fictional
if you were
giant.
Flicked by a sperm whale.
Yeah, there you go. Now we're
If you were-
talking.
If you're bumped by a sperm whale,
Violently
I need
flicked,
a
man.
land. I need a land.
You
mammal,
go
though.
0
What's the
to
largest land mammal? Probably elephants, right? Is that the largest land mammal?
should be.
Can't think of anything else.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it
An
is.
elephant.
But an elephant isn't
I
even.
fucking love elephants, man. I
Yeah,
watched. I
elephants are
watched
cool.
It's called the Ivory Game. I think it was called. I'm pretty sure it's called the Ivory Game, the Ivory Game on Netflix. It's about the animal or elephant poaching and shit like that. The ivory trade. Elephants are fucking sick. They're super smart. They're
Yep.
like really, really
Remember.
smart.
It's
Yeah, they
terrifying.
remember. They
Yeah.
have emotion. Like
Throw rocks
very,
at people.
they're very connected. They're what?
Throw rocks at people at zoos.
Do they?
Yeah, you
Oh,
never
really?
heard about that?
No.
Yeah.
They. I think I've talked about this before here about how they do the sway thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
'cause
they also they are very connected to their young, and they remember the deaths of their comrades or whatever you want to call them.
Mm-hmm.
Their pack mates, herd mates, and they even like far beyond the deaths, they'll remember the place of where one of their family was killed. They'll smell the bones of the.
Yeah.
They remember the smell. They are like extremely intelligent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe we need.
So if
to,
you kill one of those, you're a fucking asshole.
Oh. Yeah.
You know, BK, he talks about the animal hierarchy. Have you heard? Have you heard him throw that out
Wait,
there yet?
What the NRA dude shoot?
He shot an elephant.
Oh, an elephant. Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking a giraffe for a second.
Yeah.
Fucking asshole.
Yeah.
What about the animal hierarchy?
Oh, he jokes. It's not. He's dead serious. There's the animal hierarchy. You know, like elephants, dolphins, polar bears. You know, intelligent chimpanzees and shit like that. Intelligent animals they're very high up on the animal hierarchy. You don't fuck around with them.
Yeah.
And like pigeons, okay, they're pretty much at the bottom of the animal hierarchy. Like, yeah, you can go kill 10,000 pigeons for all I care.
Pigeons are pretty good though. Used to use them to fly around and
Yeah, okay, pigeons are smart too. So maybe they're not at the bottom. How about
don't say a crow.
Squirrels?
Squirrels are
Pretty much I don't
Yeah.
they're not really high ranking on the animal hierarchy.
no.
But
Squirrels.
yeah, you can go kill a squirrel and make your stew. Whatever. Not a big deal to me.
Yeah,
But if
people
you're
have
out there fucking killing lions and fucking beautiful fucking elk, I guess, and pretty much anything that is like a pretty solid piece of wildlife, like
you definitely shouldn't
better-
kill something that's intelligent like that.
no,
Bottom line, if they're intelligent, no. And then
No.
after that, it's like
and if you're
it's
doing
beautiful.
it, yeah, and if you and then
Stupid
if
squirrel.
you're doing it for the sole purpose of sustenance to survive and eat this thing, you should be doing it in a fair way, with a bow. And BK fucks around. He says like, go kill it with like a spear or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's like, how about it's like, you want to go kill an elephant? Yeah, go kill it with a fucking butter knife, and then good luck. And if you kill it, then good on you. But if not, well, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, if I ever
And
went
I couldn't
hunting,
agree more.
if I ever did go hunting, I would use the rifle, and it would be for the sole purpose of saving money, and it would be me probably
Saving money,
food, taking out like an elk that's gonna feed me forever.
Well, the funny, not really funny thing, but the ironic thing is, it's actually comparatively, it's about the same. It's about the same cost.
Yeah, it does cost a lot
When
to
you-
get it butchered,
Talking
and
about
cleaned, and
buying
all
all
that shit.
well, you buy all your gear, you buy your weapon and your clothing, and the pack, and then you gotta go hunt. So you're using your time, which is valuable, and then you got to get it processed and butchered and whatever else, and then
Yeah, I've also thought that.
like per pound of meat to like the cost of it's actually it's very much the same price, if not even more, depending on the quality of food that you're buying. If you're buying like the highest quality organic grass-fed beef or whatever the fuck, it's probably pretty equal. But if you're going to Walmart and buying fucking whatever pink shit you see on the rack, like you're gonna spend more money going to hunt.
See, the almost hypocrisy to it though is the people that criticize the hunters, like the rifle hunters.
They're buying fucking
which is a very
they're buying
disgusting
the
way. Trust me,
mass farmed.
you want hunters to take out their deer that they're going to eat. That is a very compared.
That is the most ethical way of doing it,
Yes.
compared to the people buying it at the grocery store.
So
They don't understand that it's a fucking cow that is being slaughtered,
scared
and
to death
fucking-
before it dies. Oh no.
Yeah, that and fucking it's trapped in a fucking truck.
So they can
know?
criticize the hunters, but if they are eating their cheeseburger at
Yeah,
if they're I don't know,
they
if
don't
they're
have-
eating their Chick-fil-A, it's
Right.
like, dude,
You know where that came from?
you're being very. I think
my God.
hunting is the most ethical way.
It is.
You're not allowed to say it though. Well, you're allowed to, but people will criticize you. It is
They're stupid. And
like
ignorant.
Ted Nugent talks about that. He's a hunter.
It's so ignorant. It's the so ignorant.
Yeah, and he talks about like the vegan people that are like, yeah, I'm making a difference, and he was like, yeah, and your giant soybean field, you know how many pesticides, you know, how many-
Monocrop farming.
yeah, blasting all the
Or monocrop
rabbits.
monocrop agriculture is terrible. Yeah, it's really
like,
bad.
what destroys your soybeans? Pigs. You know how many pigs had to be blasted and trapped and just poisoned to keep your soybean farm alive? You're not making. Well, you're making less of an impact than you think you are. Like it's not free. Your
Making
soybeans,
less of an impact?
huh?
Making less of an impact? Who is?
The people that are switching to vegan, they think this all these plants that they eat.
They're making less of an impact? Aren't they making? They're making more of an impact than they think.
Less.
How?
Because this giant field that grows all their plants and all their crops, it's not for free. There has to be a giant hunting effort, trapping effort to keep away let's say you're in Texas.
They're making less of an impact on what? Wait, I think I'm confused here.
So they go to vegan. They're vegan because they're trying to make okay, yeah, I got it backwards. They're making more of an impact
on the environment than they think.
Particularly animals.
Yes.
Animals' death.
Yeah.
Hardship. Whatever.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said that backwards.
Yeah.
They're making less of a greater impact. Yeah.
They're making more.
They're hurting the environment more than they think they are.
Yeah.
We'll say it that way.
Yeah.
Because
to have your monocrop agriculture soybean farm, which is destroying the soil in that
destroying the environment,
destroying the environment in that area, and to make that farm to produce the huge amount of soybeans that you need to have a sustainable diet, you're wiping out all the other whatever you're talking about.
You know how many animals would love to eat soybeans and like what other fucking crop they're growing? What
were you saying about the pigs? Pigs destroy the soybeans or something?
Yeah, so there's a lot of crops growing in Texas, has to be, because of the giant amount of helicopter hog hunting, ranchers paying you to come shoot hogs.
Right. Yeah, and the only reason to do that is because they tear up the ground, right?
So Colin Noir talked about it, and the ranchers will pay you because they, by default, every year you lose, like, I'm going to spit out a number. It might be wrong, but it's a very large figure.
Some number of acres of crop?
No, monetary. Like $100,000 every year to hogs. Just
because they destroy
by default, right off the bat.
They destroy the crops.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, and the land, and they can't plant there, and all this other bullshit.
Okay, so now bridge this gap. Bridge it to the
vegans.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So Texas grows a lot of crops. I'm going to presume that a lot of those crops that they grow go to vegan food manufacturers. Their ingredients require this crop that is grown in Texas.
Okay.
So if they enjoy eating their vegan chicken patty that's made out of plants grown in Texas, the Texas ranchers need to blast a bunch of hogs to keep that crop going. Yeah. So there's a dissociation. They think they can. It's very simple too. Animals like to eat plants, and meat, but there's a lot of animals that eat plants. Your crop field isn't free.
Right.
You don't just get to grow it and there's no animals coming.
Yeah.
The ranchers want money. Right. They're not going to let some animal, particularly I say a stupid pig because it costs so much money. They cost so much money to the farmers, and it's a problem. So they think this is just for free, and they're eating plants and they're not hurting animals. Yeah, right. I bet behind that one chicken patty made out of soybeans and X, Y, and Z plant, there's probably like 10 dead pigs for however many acres
just to get that crop to grow,
and X amount of pesticide.
Yeah.
It's not a free trade-off.
Right.
Yeah. So.
And the other. That's a great point. Good perspective. I didn't really think about that one.
You want some more of this?
No, I'm good. But also the whole thing, like, so we have 347 million people, something like that. Whatever. Blah blah blah. If this whole country, if a large majority of this country, something like that, switched to being vegan, like today, like the environment would take a huge hit, right? It's like they think it's like actually. I'm pretty much just repeating your same argument, but yeah.
Well, it'd be even worse because the amount of crop fields required
would be expanding exponentially and wiping out all the other wildlife that is living in those environments.
Yeah, even that. It's like that's something you could go off of. We won't even talk about animals. The more and more vegan, and this isn't like a vegan fucking hating podcast.
Right. No, sure.
It's to put in the vegans' minds that it's not free of charge.
Right.
if, like you're saying, if everybody went vegan, how much land do we have to clear for your field?
Yeah, right.
How many trees do we have to whack?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So
And how many?
it is
How many?
not free.
Yeah.
You
Yeah. How many
switching-
squirrels and
Yeah.
fucking rabbits and hedgehogs and whatever the fuck else and birds are living in those trees and fields that you're moving them out somewhere else, and then who knows if they survive.
I'm telling you, the best way to go about things
It's a well-balanced diet.
is to do how we did, and we'll say
yeah.
the 1700s.
Yeah.
We hunted and we planted on our own terms. We did it for ourselves.
Yeah.
Not this. The problem is with the mass
Yeah.
thing, but it's impossible to do nowadays. There's too many people.
Right.
You can't.
Well, yeah, and you can't. Not everybody in America can go out to fucking Montana and go kill an elk either.
And that's what's great about
You know?
this country. And a lot of countries, I go down to Food Line and get my chicken.
Right.
I didn't have.
You
to do
don't really
anything.
have any other option.
Yeah. I mean, I don't.
Right.
So we're stuck.
So you're we're in a is it a juxtaposition? Is that the right word? I don't necessarily know what that
could
means.
be. That sounds like a good word. Yeah.
Sounds like a good word. We're in a predicament here because a certain amount of people, however you slice it, a certain amount of people need to live on and survive by the factory farming and factory meat production.
Something I've wondered
And
pretty
I
often,
don't know.
and when you're talking about mass producing and mass growing corn, how the fuck does this country keep up on corn? Corn
GMO.
is in everything.
Yeah, it's all GMO. Do you know about Monsanto?
I've heard the name. I know a little bit.
It's what's the catchphrase for that? It's like big ag or corporate agriculture or whatever. Corporate agriculture, I guess. Monsanto is it's a huge agriculture company. They make seeds. They make all these GMO seeds
Right.
and the pesticides and whatever else and all this crazy shit, like Roundup.
Yes.
Like Roundup. They have like Roundup resistant corn or like Roundup immune corn and rice and grain and whatever else. But,
BK talked about that and like the birth defects and all the problems from it.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
like CDG or some. It was some 3-letter.
Oh, PEG, I think maybe. I don't know. You should watch a documentary about Monsanto and all the GMO kind of crazy stuff. I don't know, but Monsanto anyway. They actually have like patents on their seeds, and this is actually kind of interesting. Is if you're like so let's say the setting is like Kansas or some shit like that, Iowa. Do they grow corn in Iowa? I would imagine.
They do.
So you're an independent organic farmer. You're trying to make everything natural. And I'm a Monsanto contracted farmer that lives right here across the street. If my corn, like pollen or whatever the fuck, if my let's say it's like grain or wheat. If my wheat pollen or wheat leaves blow over to your farm, number one, I can sue you for like growing my patented fucking wheat or whatever the hell, and that also ruins your organic farm. That's like kind of one weird thing about that whole thing. And
Wow.
They have like they have all these like patents on their stuff, and there's like regulations about who can do it and who can't, and it's Monsanto's not good. It's been a while since I've been on that whole kick, but yeah, you can look into that if you're interested.
Yeah, I never. That makes sense though, because if you're a farmer and you're growing a particular kind of thing, and I don't know how GMO stuff works. I don't know if it's like it's probably just kind of like a one standard thing, because you're talking about like Monsanto is like a seed supplier basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're a big agricultural company.
So let's say you are a Whole Foods kind of dude, and you're like big on, all right, we don't do GMOs. And
Yeah.
You're a farmer, and you grow all natural stuff.
Right.
And then across the dirt road
Yeah.
is a Monsanto seed buyer, and his shit blows onto and contaminates your stuff.
Right. You're fucked.
That's interesting. Wow. I've never.
Yeah,
thought
and then
that.
you could be sued for growing their crops without being authorized. Because their pollen is flying over their
You're
plants, whatever.
Contaminated.
It's, it's impregnating your plants before you know
Rape.
it. Yeah. The GMOs raping
your
the
seed.
organic plants, and before you know it, you're growing the same shit, and you're not
Holy shit.
you're not paying Monsanto for it, so they get sued.
Wow, that makes me look at like cornfields differently now.
Yeah.
Like, how do you? You almost would have to just own all the land kind of surrounding you, because you're right. What are you gonna do? Go next door and be like, "Hey, what are you growing?"
I think, so the thing is, I'm pretty sure Matt the other day in class, he was talking about in the U.S. there's no more I can't remember. I don't know if this is necessarily true. He was saying that in the U.S. there's no more natural corn. It's
Yes,
all
I remember that.
it's
being brought up.
all GMO.
Yeah.
Everything.
There's no. We are completely.
You can't.
There's
You can't
no.
get organic corn. No matter it's extinct. It's like it's like
Yeah,
bred
it's
it's bred
yeah.
out of growth.
I'd like to see what an actual corn cob looks like a picture. There's probably some puny like thing that would be like,
Oh.
what is that?
Well, yeah. Have you seen the difference between like the clearly like GMO banana and like an organic banana? It's a huge difference. You can see it at you can see it at a grocery store. Next time you go to the grocery store, look at the big pile of bananas and then the organic ones.
They're tiny bananas.
Oh yeah, they're much different, and they don't last as long at all. They don't last nearly as long. The GMO, like the regular bananas, they'll last 2-3 days at least longer than the organic ones.
Is it a bad thing to criticize though? Look at what we've done with technology. We got these bananas that last longer, provide more nutrients.
And I've seen that. I know that because of my personal experience. I've bought in the organic ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen firsthand the effects of
Is it good or bad?
not using preservatives. It's not really GMOs, but like bread going bad when it should go bad.
Yeah.
This bread that lasts like a while, it's like, what the hell?
Yeah. It
That's
should
not
be
how it
bad
should
by
be.
now.
Yeah.
Right?
Eggs should be left out. Eggs are meant to be left out. The reason why you have to refrigerate them is because we took the coating off. And they're not in the Netherlands. We never refrigerated our eggs, never left them in the box on the counter because they didn't have to be, because they didn't have the coating stripped off them. The reason why they have to be refrigerated here. When I first got here, I was leaving my eggs out, bro.
Oh.
Not supposed to be.
Yeah, that's.
I told one of my buddies about it. And he was like, "Wait, what?" Yeah. So that's something I used to bring up is like, what are we doing to food to where it is going from one how it should be to so the way I look at it is like, okay, eggs naturally growing up with farm eggs from our chickens, we never refrigerate them. We left them in the egg basket.
Okay.
So let's flip it. What if you could buy chicken now and you didn't have to refrigerate it? Like
raw, like chicken meat.
yeah, you left this. Because an egg is kind of like a raw.
Are you saying if you modify it to be like that, or
maybe not GMO, but modify it in a fashion that would now require
no refrigerator?
additional care? Like what are we doing in this process? You can go to Walmart and buy 18 eggs, I think, for 96 cents. What is going on?
I used to buy I actually did. My roommate at the time, he would get the 60 egg carton, the box of egg. We ate like a dozen eggs a day.
Ugh, god damn.
Not each. Like I would eat like I would have like 6 eggs and but we ate a fuck ton of eggs. And we would get like the huge box and it was like $5, something like that. Yeah.
How can we crank out that many eggs for that little amount? Like what is going on?
Yeah.
In this process? It shouldn't be. Maybe it should be. I don't know.
Well, but it's because we have hundreds of thousands, probably millions of chickens
How?
Yeah, just shoved into fucking
how
boxes.
do we have
shitting eggs 8 times a day?
Yeah, those people that criticize hunters,
Right.
will gladly eat the chicken and the eggs.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing to be able to crank out? One, why do we have that many chicken? Well, I can't criticize it too much because then again, this is America. There's probably no, it's not poverty. What's the word? Famine.
Yeah.
Pretty much non-existent famine in this world. I don't want to say completely non-existent, but it has been eradicated.
There's hunger.
Yes.
Definitely hunger, but
I'm
not
talking
famine.
African level,
Famine.
Ethiopian.
Famine is much different than hunger.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I can't criticize it too much because we eradicated through this very unfriendly way of farming.
Mm-hmm.
We've eradicated famine, I'll say, in the practical sense.
Yeah, sure.
People still are hungry. I get that in
Right.
America. Widespread famine, though, is
Non-existent.
non-existent probably for a very long time.
Right.
So I can't talk too much shit about it, but still, like, you got these,
We don't have a shortage of food. That's what.
which is insane. It's Bangladesh. There's not famine there.
No?
Not that I saw.
Right. Do they have a shortage of food? No, I guess not. You can't have a famine if you don't have a shortage of food, right?
Then again, they relied less on meat.
Right.
I can't imagine how many chickens that would be to supply that country with all those people crammed in there. I don't think the population is quite as big as ours, even still.
Well,
Okay.
no, it can't be. Not
Actually,
even close.
let's branch out. We'll go to India and China. They don't
Okay.
have famine.
No,
They have hungry people, yes.
Sure.
They don't have
most certainly.
Congo, Mali,
Yemen.
Nigeria.
Yemen is the big one with famine.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like 70% of the
Perfect.
population is. I'm throwing that number out there. It's a high number.
It's bad.
It's a high percentage
really
of their
bad.
population is subject to famine.
I think
Like,
North Korea too. They have
probably,
some
yeah.
famine going on.
Yeah.
They won't talk about it, but
Yemen is like the big humanitarian crisis in the world
Yep.
right now. Mm-hmm. It has
yeah.
been for a long time.
I remember seeing that. Yeah, so China doesn't have a Yemen type thing going on.
No.
How? That is so many people.
Yeah, over a billion.
India as
Yeah.
well. So many people. What are you doing? It's impressive when you look at it. It's like that's what technology got us to. You can have 1 billion people in one spot and not a single one of them. Well, that's a bad way of putting it.
Well, don't think that they're self-sustaining though. It's not all. They're not totally. They're importing a lot of.
Yeah, very true.
So,
But through technology, we have figured out a way to, one, self-sustain to a certain extent with 1 billion people and have a system where you can import food
yep.
to sustain billions of people. That's really good.
Yes.
And it's super unethical to all the animals.
Yeah.
So when you have a hunter who's ethically, that's arguable. If it's bow hunter, it's more ethical, or spear hunter, or butter knife hunter, even more ethical. Taking out an animal to feed their family,
Well, okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
you can start to step into the bounds where, like, you're starting to get into the realm of, all right, I'm not supporting this industry that schwacks cows with
Yeah, the
this,
cyclic
and
rate.
they're freaked out.
Yeah.
It's in a dirty, nasty corral thing.
Yeah, it's like shitting itself as
Yeah.
you kill it. Well, that probably happens when you shoot one too, from time to time.
Yeah, true.
But I will, to go back real quick, is about just because you go hunt with a bow doesn't make you a more ethical hunter over the rifle hunter. You gotta know how to use. You can very easily
Yes.
be an unethical
That's true.
hunter with a bow
And a rifle,
because
yeah.
you don't know how to fucking use it or shoot the animal in the right place, and you wound it, and now you got a fucking elk running around with a broadhead in its thigh.
Stomach.
Yeah, for who knows how long. It's bleeding out
Yeah.
for days.
Yeah, all
You know,
all hunting can be turned
so,
to unethical.
yeah.
Yeah.
So just
Yeah,
because
I
you're
got
hunting
that.
with a bow doesn't make you ethical, even though That is my preferred.
more, ethical is right. More fair, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it's more fair. Yeah.
But then again, it's like
But
nothing
nothing
fair.
matters how fair. Fairness does not necessarily matter if you're doing it for sustenance. Like I'm not gonna. If I'm trying to go kill my elk for the year to feed my family, like I'm not gonna waste my time going bow hunting. I'm gonna go out there with my rifle and shoot it from 800 yards away, and that call it a day. And I'm not gonna go waste weeks of my time and maybe come up empty-handed with a bow, which is more than likely going to happen, when I could go out there with a rifle and pretty much more or less have a high probability of being successful and then therefore feeding my family.
Right.
So
when you have people like BK criticizing hunters, I don't know if he's doing it just because they're shooting elephants, which I get the criticization right there. But when you have a dude going elk hunting with a rifle and you're being criticized because you're not using a spear or something.
Oh, he doesn't do that. I do that.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't do that about the elk.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Yeah.
He does that about the elephants and whatever else. On the animal hire.
You shouldn't be shooting those anyways. So
no,
yeah,
you shouldn't be killing them
at
all.
Kill it with a spear. You're still gonna get criticized.
Yeah.
So yeah, like what you're saying is like elk, good example. Maybe caribou, maybe moose.
Yeah, sure.
If it's not endangered, I think it's free game. Yeah.
Right.
So when you're not wanting to pay into the industrial food processing, slaughtering mechanism that is tremendous.
Yes.
350 million roughly people.
Right.
That's not free of charge. So when you're taking out one animal and it's a direct, like when you go to Walmart and buy, steak and chicken, you're like, it's like you're paying into this.
You're paying into
complex.
The system. Yeah.
The system.
When you go kill it, it's direct to consumer.
Yeah. There you go. Perfect. Supplier straight to consumer. Yeah. 1-to-1 swap.
Right. Yeah, I like that.
So you shouldn't criticize the method of how they take out the animal unless it's something obviously completely inhumane.
Yeah.
Bad shots like you were talking about.
Trophy hunting.
Yeah. Oh, God. You're fucking killing these.
To put it on a wall.
Then again, pigs is kind of... All right. Hog hunting in Texas, I don't think is anything. It's straight up blasting as many.
Oh, yeah. Go kill as many as you can. Yeah.
And that's a byproduct of... the
farming.
I think the farmers might have created their own problem, so to speak.
How?
They might have taken away the hog's environment and forced them to go elsewhere and this and the other.
Potentially.
Because I'm a firm believer that nature works itself out, but then when humans start getting involved and start building these cities and taking away their habitat, and then
they got to figure it out somehow, right?
And they're like, "Oh, where'd all these, like in California, where all these coyotes come from? Why are they in my neighborhood?" It's like,
because you're in the neighborhood, you're in their home. You moved here.
You made them
built this place.
Yeah, and then it's like, "Oh, shoot all the coyotes."
Right.
So is it the same in Texas? Could be. They have a hog problem, obviously, giant hog problem there. Is that a byproduct of us industrializing areas and deforestation to build crop fields because the vegans want it? I don't know. It's interesting stuff.
And the other thing is talking about the whole like climate change and the whole Green New Deal. No more planes, no more diesel trucks, no more fucking, whatever. Talking about going to feed into the big system at the grocery store. How many trucks did that fucking chicken go on? Good. And how many power plants needed to supply the energy to fucking power the factory and all this other shit?
Another great.
If I'm driving my fucking Prius out into the backcountry, no, I'm joking. Okay, drive my Tacoma out to the backcountry, and I throw an elk in the back of it. I drive it home.
Very good.
And then I butcher it in my garage. It's like, well, Yeah, that's pretty environmentally friendly, if you ask me.
That's a very good point. These, once again, I feel like I'm just shitting on the vegans, but they're the most vocal. We're doing the best to save the world.
No,
All
I'm
your
not.
plants came on that giant fucking 18 wheeler,
Right.
to bring in all your
Yeah.
plants and
Right.
stuff. Yeah, so you got a guy. Could be they could drive a Prius and
Sure. Fuck it. Tow a trailer on it.
yeah, you got your Prius
Put
with
a trailer on the back, dude.
You go out, shoot your animal, maybe two,
Put it on a Tesla. How about that? Even better.
for a whole year. You have contributed. Your carbon footprint
Nothing.
is so small.
Yep. As far as your food. Yeah. Sure.
Right.
Nothing.
And that, yeah.
It's basically
So when you, after talking about this for a while, it keeps coming back to traditional agricultural and
right.
we'll just say pre-industrialization of food.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought it back to that because I kind of wanted to say like to get to like to do that is so hard, you know. I feel like
do what?
well, maybe not the whole. Well, we literally just spelled out how to go have zero carbon footprint to kill an animal, but as far as like
Prius.
growing the food, growing your crops, oh man, it's like hard or really expensive. One or the other.
It is. It takes a lot
Not
of work.
everybody can do it, you know.
Oh yeah.
If everybody was trying to do this, it would be a disaster.
requires a certain amount of land, time. People
Yeah.
work all day.
Right.
Can't-
Have you well, you grew up on a farm, you know. I mean, it's a fucking full-time job, man.
It's definitely a lot of extra work.
You
to
can't
go
take
on
a
with.
vacation for a week long, you know, unless you got an automated watering system and all that kind of jazz.
Yep.
But even if you had, that's just for plants.
Yep.
What about your livestock? You know, you
You have
can't
to have
take a
your-
week off. You got to be there
Yeah.
all the time, every day.
Have to have your friendly neighbor to come over and water.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
we would do that. We'd have people come over and water our tomatoes and feed our animals.
right.
Yeah. No, it's
It's like it's
a thing.
You can't. Not everybody can do that
Right.
at all. Not even
And
close.
that's why I'm like on both sides. I am glad in 2021 we don't have widespread famine in this country.
Sure.
Because I can go down and buy
Whatever the
either
hell you want.
already cooked fast food
Right.
or already butchered food that I can cook
Yeah.
for not an astronomical price.
Mhm.
So I can't talk shit about it too much. But bottom line
Yeah.
though, if the goal is low impact on the environment,
Yeah.
I think you got to be a hunter, man,
I would.
and a crop grower. If you're a
Right.
vegan, you need to be a crop grower.
Yeah, personally.
Personal, yes.
Yeah.
And you better not have any pesticides or any measures to take out rabbits eating your carrots, which is a real thing. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, it's hard. It's a real big problem. I think it really is. Is that like, again, like not everybody can do. Like you can't just have. Say it is like the best. Say that is the best thing, but not everyone can do it because then it becomes its own problem. You know. Know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Can't have 350 million people all decide they want to become vegan, or whatever. Or not even vegan. You can't have 350 million people decide they all want to be independent and, hunters and self-sustaining or whatever. Like, you can't do it.
I think it just
There's
comes
a certain
to
amount of people that that have to rely on the system.
Then it comes down to carrying capacity and overpopulation. That's two of the problems.
Yeah. Oh, I think overpopulation is definitely a thing.
We might have to save that one for the next one. We're about to run out of juice here.
Yeah.
Battery. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed us carrying on for 30 minutes longer than we usually do.
Oddly enough,
so-
I don't think we made it through too many topics this time. We went on long talks about a couple of good ones.
Yeah, I'm a little twisted too. So no, it was fun. I
Yeah.
really liked the simulation thing and
Yeah.
the sentience.
The mirror.
Honestly,
that was my favorite.
I really did like talking about that. Yeah, it was fun. So
And
yeah,
I'm glad
guys.
we talk- I enjoy talking about the environment type stuff too.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Check out Monsanto.
thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Yep.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, that was fun.
It was.